well? Are we coming on as well or no? Mic on yet? I can't say good. Party. I'll let you know about it. Thank you all for coming. I think you're there. I'm there. Yeah. Pretty sure you're supposed to. Is it on? Check mic. 1, 2. Can you guys hear me? Barely. Okay, no. Mic's on? What up? No. It's a live show, folks.
It's fun.
Alex, just you yell for me.
Ground control to Major Tom. Well, I'm so loud, I'll just broadcast for everybody here. We got about 10 mics, though, so they're going to turn them on. I can hear it. Whoa.
Is that it?
Welcome, Austin, Texas.
Wow. So, are the mics on now?
Yes, you're on.
Oh, okay. Hey, great. So, we're live. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming, everybody. This is super exciting. Austin's awesome. We have a whole bunch of really awesome people tonight, and you may notice something. There's no Anheuser-Busch products available for purchase at this event. So, however, I guess the big news today is their stock has spiked in the after hours because they put out a statement which was not an apology on a Friday when news goes to die. So we can start off with that. But before we do, let's just introduce everybody. Obviously, you guys know who I am. I'm Tim Pool, Timcast. We got. Thank you. To my right, we got Luke Rukowski of We Are Change.
Hey guys.
You're cheering louder for him. All right, we got Alex Jones. You guys want to just... Blaire White is here.
Yeah.
Who's next? Is that Ian Crossland? Alex Stein. And of course, Michael Malice. Is everybody's mics on? I couldn't hear anybody.
I think so.
I think my mic's
Mic
on.
check.
All right, cool. So
good.
we're just here to talk about life and stuff.
He's smoking? What's next, drugs?
Are you allowed to smoke in here? He's having a good time,
baby.
everybody.
And we're all on mushrooms.
Hey, wait, Tim, you said no Bud Light, but I want to see if it really makes me gay.
Yeah, it did.
Hey, Alice!
No. Alex Stein! Holy God!
That's exactly what I was looking for.
I think we're banned already.
I'm never coming back from this.
It does make you gay.
Well, all right. How about that?
I was thinking like a live podcast, because Tim's podcast is great, but what's it been like with a comedy forum? So
I have no idea. I don't
Alex
know.
Stein has already completely kicked it off here.
Already naked.
But let's know this. What you're watching is the revolution against the establishment, because independent media, where it's unscripted, will destroy the system because the people want freedom of choice. So just this action that no big corporation controls what we say, and nobody told me what I could say tonight, and nobody told any of us what to say. That seems like America. That seems like freedom. But that's the revolution we have to bring back, and we are winning right now.
Considering that we are live on YouTube and Alex just took his pants off, I think we're uncensored.
Wait.
Well, if it was in front of school kids, he'd get an award.
He stole that.
Hey, just say it's drag queen story time. You can pull your dick out and shake it around.
I'm not getting a word edgewise.
So, well, I guess that kicks off our Bud Light conversation. You guys may have seen that Anheuser-Busch put out a statement where they basically didn't apologize, didn't address anything, just said, we didn't mean to be divisive, have a nice day. And that's it. Now, what I noticed from this is that their stock actually went up in the after hours. They've almost completely recovered from the boycott. And a lot of people are now saying there was no boycott. You can see it in their stock. So the question, I suppose, is, was it effective?
Oh, they claim that go woke, go broke is a lie. Hollywood's killed itself. It's collapsed. All the major corporations pushing stuff take major hits to push their agenda. And again, it's not even the agendas they're pushing that overall are the bad people. It's the corporate whole leftist thing that's attached to that. It's like the engines pulling the train. So no, get woke, go broke is absolutely real. The establishment is falling in this place. It's being rejected worldwide. It doesn't matter what their stock says. People are rejecting it everywhere because they have some creepy clown dude who is super repulsive.
Hey.
Yeah.
I'm right here. I've always been nice to you, motherfucker.
Right. But if they had Blaire White, as their spokesperson, they'd be making $50 trillion a day. Right. Or my wife over there.
Well, I think that's a big component of the lie the media pushes out, or that a lot of people assume. They think the Dylan Mulvaney issue was about being trans, which it's not. For me, it's about targeting children first and foremost with alcohol sales. But
You made
also,
a great point this morning on your podcast. Repeat that again, and Luke made an even better point, because they admit this is about forming a relationship with children for future business. Anheuser-Busch admitted that, so they make a weird sexual connection to them to then tie the product sales to it.
Yeah, I was talking about this a few days ago. What kind of evil vampire motherfuckers are out there saying, hey, little kids, we got a nice little refreshing beverage for you that fluorides your fucking pineal gland and gives you man boobs. That is just absolutely evil, out of the line, and it should be called out for what it is. It's as people called it, especially as we were having the conversation, like Joe the Camel, just like back in the day, using cartoons to sell addictive, horrible vices to small children,
Like this,
which
they
should
hook
be
me-
automatically called out.
you can smoke in here?
Like so.
Children
guess you
shouldn't be
can.
smoking Camels. They should be smoking Newports. Come on.
I mean, that's like the simple thing is, I've often harped about the algorithmic manipulation. That to me is the big issue. That this platform promotes to young people, principally children, let's just say bad habits, bad behaviors, things that are going to ruin their lives, and then they pour beer on top of it. Now, I know adults like beer. Have a beer, crack it with your friends. But why are they celebrating that this person is marketing it to children?
Well, I just want to say this. First of all, Dylan Mulvaney's dressed as like a little girl, Eloise. So that's.
Is your mic off?
I don't know if I'm on. I don't know if I'm on, sir.
No?
Serge Duprea, ladies
Yeah,
and
what's
gentlemen,
going on
in
with
the
these
house.
mics?
Where are you, Serge?
I think your guys' mics are off too. I mean,
We're saying there's no audio on that.
No.
You're
oh,
right.
there's no
You
audio on
dressed
the
up,
show.
but
I know.
Well, maybe that's a good thing.
No, but I'm saying the guy's a groomer. I mean, why does he want to be?
And I guess the live shows,
shows,
like the YouTube's not getting audio either, which is probably a good thing at this point because
Yeah.
you guys have lost it already.
terms of service. This is an inside job.
No, your mic's on now.
Hello?
Here's the problem. You poured beer on it.
I thought it was weird that he dressed up as that little girl, Eloise. Like a month ago? And then he's selling beer a month later. That's
I killed it.
I mean that's
age.
trans age.
We can't
solar
hear
age
you,
and
man.
genetic age are different.
Yeah.
We can't hear Ian?
Ian or me? Oh, now you can hear me. Hot mic, prime time, 99.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get
Testing,
ready
testing.
to rumble.
We might have to hold them.
Hi, mic's on.
I think I'm on. Now I'm on. Hi.
There's no difference between Bud Light and Pfizer. They're too big to fail, so it doesn't matter if they put a transsexual and they market it to us. People are still going to drink Bud Light. It's like outrage.
Well, you bought one.
That's what I'm saying. I made me go buy it, so I want to be gay. But yeah, I don't think it's going to. Does Pfizer care? Does Bud Light care? I don't think they.
We know Bud Light turned the frogs gay.
Well, no.
Stay in attack formation.
So hold on. It's Friday. They put out a statement at the end of a Friday. That's a standard PR strategy, which shows they care and they're concerned about what's been going on.
Didn't they say the higher-ups weren't even aware of Dylan working for them, or no?
Yeah.
I missed what you said, Blaire. What's that?
I think the
Okay.
higher-ups were
Where are
not
they at?
aware that Dylan was actually working with them.
Right. We're getting feedback, and the YouTube show is not getting audio, I guess.
Oh, God.
We can say whatever the fuck we
They're
want.
probably doing that on purpose.
Logic. I thought you said the higher ups.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they're clearly shook by the fact that they're saying anything, right? Otherwise,
and they just gave some rogue marketing aid, like the VP
Here,
of
just
marketing.
you want to
carte
share your
blanche
mic, I guess?
Yeah.
So when Ian talks, if you want to help him, I guess hold the mic.
Oh,
I can be louder.
Yeah, your mic's
we're
pointed
getting
at the
bad
ground.
feedback.
Aim it up.
Son of a bitch.
What is happening?
that the higher ups, like the top executives at the company, didn't
Why are
know.
we getting
At least
feedback
that's a
like
statement they made. They didn't know that their vice president of marketing made this decision. Because a lot of times at these big, huge corporations, they give control to. They'll have to segment and delegate control of things. So I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
think
what
it matters.
happened. I mean, that's what happened. But the whole point is, it did hurt their brand. It shows the power of the people. No matter what your political view is, the power of boycotts, the power of us choosing where we spend our money is king. And that's way more important than physical revolutions. And the Pentagon will tell you, 95% of war is now informational and the actions we take. So we're not powerless. We're powerful.
And for me, the issue isn't even that cringe or that Dylan is cringe as fuck and annoying. It's more so that Dylan was at the White House advocating for kids to have their fucking dicks cut off.
Yeah.
So that's really the issue. Because you can be annoying, you can be like a whack-ass spokesperson, that's fine. There's plenty of them, right? There's plenty of celebrities that are annoying and do ads.
Hey, I'm right here.
Like Michael Malice for the
Just don't cut
fruit
the
punch.
kids' dicks off.
Right. But Michael Malice has his dick
to
still,
be
I
gay.
think.
Don't cut your penis off today. That's what we say.
Right. We'll see how that changes. But yeah, it's the fact that Dylan's at the White House advocating for kids to be sterilized. That's really the issue for me.
Yeah, and they give kids Lupron, which is a castration drug. I
you were
mean,
gonna
any
say lube.
parent that let their kid have Lupron deserves to be,
Bad audio.
CPS. Child Protective
100%.
Services under the jail.
They're working on it.
And who even drinks Bud Light? Isn't that just like college girls? But I guess that's his audience, right? It's just like annoying college
I mean,
girls.
it's
And Anheuser-Busch has a $137 million market cap. And the point is that all
Stop.
the corporations push it.
Sorry, don't talk into the mics because it is being picked up, and it's blowing out when you guys hold it to your mouths. Anyway, continue, sir. You were saying?
It's fun, though.
Yeah.
It is.
it's a live show.
I am the great and powerful Oz.
I had no idea how this was gonna go, and I'm just kind of chilling. So
Just let it go off the rails.
Hey, when are you going to play the guitar?
after the show, maybe. But
No, you should play the guitar now.
oh, we can't play it now. We have to complain about the government first.
I go to the bathroom.
Alex Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
Alex show.
Michael, complain about the government.
You want me to complain on the government?
Complain about the government.
I'm going to actually take something a little different than complaining about the government, which is I think this is something that shows libertarians sometimes get it wrong because the government isn't making Anheuser-Busch put Dylan Mulvaney on those cans of beer. And the market is not really compensating for these kind of problems. So this is something that is far more systemic than the Republicans or the Democrats.
Yes, but there is that. Was it Seth Weathers launched Conservative Dad's Ultra Right beer? It's a small brewery out of Illinois. They're selling beer that's like anti-woke. So, I like it when the Daily Wire launches alternative brands and says, "Buy from us. We're not gonna do this weird stuff."
Here's the issue with that. An essential element of progressivism is the idea that it has to have its tentacles into literally everything, right? If you have a video game that takes place in the Middle Ages, there have to be X amount of black people in it or else there's a problem. So the answer is, but this is kind of feeding to the game to the sense of you're either going to have progressive beer or conservative beer, where a lot of people are like, what's the beer that'll help me get her drunk so that she makes some bad decisions when she goes back to my room later? So this kind of bifurcation into ultra-politicization for all products is not going to solve the broader issue.
What do you think?
Let me ask you, Michael. Are you for national divorce?
Well, I kind of started, my article in 2016 kicked that whole thing off, yeah.
So we were talking about this the other
Thank
day.
you. Hold on. Clap if you're for Texit. Hold on, stop. I'm going to say one thing. If Hawaii, my native land, decides that imperialism was wrong and declares its independence and we bomb Hawaii, does that make us the good guys? Washington bombs Hawaii? And if Hawaii has a right to secede, so does every single other state under our Constitution. Case closed.
So here's what I was going to say, though. When we talk about the hyperpolarization with now we have progressive beer, now we have conservative beer, it's divide and conquer. If the end result is we feel like we can't live in one country because the factions have grown too far apart, then the United States just ceases, right?
Yes.
But isn't that bad for us in the long run?
Yeah.
There's no us. I don't have anything in common with Bud Light, which I never have, and certainly any product that puts this dude acting out of fetish on his cans.
But bad for like us in the room.
Oh no, this room's are my people.
No, but Michael, wait. So what you said?
But I mean, like, look. If the reality. Oh, go ahead.
I think there's already an us in them. It's like in Texas, people don't want kids' dicks cut off. In California, it's a sanctuary state.
You have your mic on?
Do I?
Nope.
Do I talk into it or no?
Just like close. You know what I mean? Not too close.
Like this?
Yeah, that's good.
All right, cool. So there already is an us in them. California's a sanctuary state for child sex changes. Texas is working to outlaw it. So I think it's actually a good thing in the long run that if there's more division.
I guess the issue then is if this is the case, and I get it, I feel like we're so divided, I don't know how we ever come back together, then the next up is the fall of the petrodollar, which is happening, hyperinflation, our standard of living will drop dramatically. That being said, I'm not super worried because I have chickens and I don't live in a city. So
No, but
Can I say one sentence?
Okay, yes,
a lot of people would rather be poorer and freer than richer and more enslaved.
here. Agreed.
But I want to make this. I just want to say this because this is something that people aren't talking about. There are a lot of conservative Republican politicians in Texas right now that are calling for a Texit. Right?
Yes.
You've heard that. What people don't realize is
I met with him this week. Slatton is his name. Congressman
Yes,
Slatton.
and this is why this is not good because this is a total conspiracy. But this is what they're saying is that there's outside influences like China that are actually the ones that are funding Texit because if Texas did succeed, succeed, whatever.
Texas is going to succeed.
Succeed. Listen, I went to LSU. What I'm saying is
English is my second language.
Okay, well, it's my first. I still don't know how to speak
No,
it.
it's not really.
My point is, there's outside influences like China that are trying to influence us for our own republic to shut down. So the idea that Texas is going to become its own republic sounds nice, but that would be the end of America.
Of course, it's the end of America. I'm more concerned about Chinese influence in D.C. than I am in Austin, where I reside, and that's kind of unambiguous. I'm more concerned about Chinese influence in Cambridge with Harvard, Chinese influence with New Haven and Yale, and all these other universities, and Hollywood especially.
So what do you think?
This is unambiguous. Who here is interested in learning lessons from the CCP? Are you kidding me?
So what do you think happens?
Besides Luke.
Let's say there's a national divorce.
Yes.
I don't know how that happens, like in terms of dividing lines or whatever. Let's say then the petrodollar is done, which it already appears like we're on the cusp of. What do you think America looks like in 10 or 20 years?
I am not. I think it's going to take. Here's my. People like this will never happen. It's crazy. There's two models where that establish something like this could happen. 1964, Barry Goldwater has the biggest electoral defeat in American history. 16 years later, his spiritual heir, Ronald Reagan, has a landslide election. Nigel Farage goes on the floor of the European Union, says, I'm ready to have Brexit. And they're like, haha, okay, Mr. Screwed Up Teeth, go back to the UK. 17 years later, he stood on the floor of the European Union and said, you all laughed at me. Well, you're not laughing now. So mark my words, if you asked every single person in this state in 2014, which is more likely to happen next? Trump becomes president or Texas declares independence, everyone would have said Texas.
But Brexit is England seceding from the Great Britain?
Yes.
So that's like...
England seceding from the EU.
So that's getting out of...
England seceding from Great Britain. Ian, I love you so much.
I'm just talking about 20 years.
I love you so much.
Brexit's a situation where we're basically getting away from a corporation. The EU's like a corporation.
So is the federal government.
It's a republic. I mean, it's a republic.
How? If you can keep it.
Yeah, if we can keep it.
And we have lost it.
So James Lindsay's talking about when you want to destroy your enemy, you don't surround them. You give them an escape path. And then when they turn and flee, if you surround them, they'll fight to the death. So you give them an escape path that you want them to take. They take it, and then you pounce on them when they're trying. The whole breaking up of the United States is that escape path that's been given to us. Or it seems like it's an escape.
I am not going to be led by China, whether directly or indirectly. I'm not just going to do the opposite of whatever China wants. If China would think it would be a bad thing if Korea was nuked, I would agree with them on that. So just because China theoretically wants something doesn't mean it's inherently wrong, even though they are our enemy. And I am far more concerned about invasion from DC than I am from Beijing.
Like invasion of...
Like they threaten it all the time. Eric, what's his name? The one running for Senate in California?
But you mean like federal government invading states and imposing federal will?
And Waco is like an hour and a half from there. Me and Blaire and a couple of our friends went to visit. They still have a memorial for all the kids that were murdered. You can still see where the corpses were, and the federal agents stood over the bodies and posed for it like it was Disneyland.
So dark. Where did Alex Jones go?
He's right there.
He was
Wait,
detained.
no, where did he go? I thought he was over there.
Taking the longest pee, I think.
Oh my God.
He's going number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Alex Jones goes number 3.
I always get. I get like
What a secret third thing.
when we talk about secession, I feel like my soul is vibrating. Like it's like
That's like the worst thing in the world would be for the federal government to be putting Texas under siege. That would be horrific.
They had that already. You know
But
that.
I mean, with like destroyers in the Gulf, with checkpoints on the border.
It doesn't have to be- if
Like
that-
people drove from across. The
Listen, Ian, if you were in a relationship and the person tells you, if you leave, I'm going to surround your house and kill you, that's not an excuse to be like, well, let's figure out how we can make this work. That means we got to get the F out of Dodge immediately. I don't disagree with you, by the way. And one more thing, the idea that it would be a cakewalk, just look at the Taliban. We fled so bad, we left the keys in the car. Literally.
it would be a sustained thing for 20 years of death and chaos. And
Oh, please.
everybody's bank account would be shut off. It would just be terror.
And everything's totally normal now, right? Everything's
No bank accounts are getting shut off
everything's
now.
hunky-dory now.
I mean, the finger is on the scale, and if you give them a reason to press down,
They don't need a reason, Ian.
They're
That's what you
punching
don't get.
down already.
Ian, they locked everyone in their homes for weeks and never apologized. They
Shut down
Years.
small
Years.
businesses and extorted you to take a medical procedure that clearly they didn't have any medical data to,
No,
to
it's
make
safe
you
and
take.
effective.
I remember
It turned you gay.
I
Love you,
remember
YouTube.
that video out of New Jersey where a woman, they shut her business down, and then she did a live stream on Facebook walking past the products she had for sale. So the cops showed up and told her to stop or else. And they were like, you have to be closed. Like, I am closed. They're like, no, you're trying to sell things online. Clearly at that point, it was something more about economics and not about health or whatever.
Of course.
So when you know, I can only say it this way. When you have powerful global elites telling you to your face it's about climate change, it's about overpopulation, and then when it comes to our health, it's shutting down businesses.
And including gyms.
And what?
Including gyms.
Including gyms.
And churches.
And locking people in their homes. I'm like, I kind of don't believe you. It's just like, you know, Obama buying waterfront property. Or people buying, you know, property in Miami Beach while complaining the water levels are rising.
Here's the thing. You couldn't go to a funeral even if you were in a hazmat suit. There could be no forgiveness for these people, and there's nothing I have in common with them.
Hold on a minute. I'm sorry, Michael, but you didn't go far enough with that statement.
That's what I was
killed
thinking.
People.
Oh, I agree with
In
you.
these states, they put COVID patients in
Yes.
nursing homes, and they were warned. Cuomo was warned, people will die if you do this, but he didn't want to give Trump a victory with the comfort. So people died because of it. Jail!
And they called DeSantis a murderer.
Lock
They
him
called
up.
DeSantis a
Lock
murderer.
him up. Lock him up.
I'm not a big fan of the federal government. I don't even like
Apparently you
centralized
are.
authority that much. Well, what I do like is the union. I like the union of states. A decentralized union is what it's supposed to be. Now, talk about stripping power away.
Supposed to be is a blue pill term. That term means nothing. It's what the lies you were taught in high school that you never stopped to think about. Wait a minute, this is
I guess
nonsense.
they had the debate. It was the intention of the founders, for the most part, is that these United States are together, and we're going to create some flimsy federal thing.
No, they had a flimsy federal thing, which was the Articles of Confederation. Then they strongly centralized power in secret, which they had no right to do. And then the people who were elected already to represent them were thrown outside, and they just had these referendums.
So I don't like that. I don't like that. But
But
I don't
that's the
think,
founding.
I don't think
It
that
was
you-
corrupt from day one.
I don't think that you have to completely leave the country to stop adhering to centralized
I didn't leave the
authority.
United States. The United States left me. It's kind of true, though. I did. They killed New York, and they're violating the corpse. Wow. And they're violating.
No. Oh, AJ.
Everyone cover your mics.
Yeah, look at that. They killed New York, and they're violating the corpse. I went back because Tim gave me one of the honors of my life of putting me in Times Square. I'm like, I have to see this in person. And the fact that nothing had changed, that it was even more unsafe and more dangerous. There was no vibrancy. It makes me it's like someone who watches, God forbid, their kid pass away. This was my life. I'm only learning how to drive next week. I have to be shuttled around by this one in a pink Mercedes. Not Mercedes,
It's a Mustang.
Pink Mustang. I don't even know the car name.
You can uncover it. Okay. I was just saying when the feedback happens.
Okay.
Yeah, when we were doing the marketing campaign, I was like, getting big ads in Times Square is a big FU to the establishment.
Yes.
And so I was like, the two people that have to be on it is going to be Luke and Michael Malice.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the people who have. I thought Luke was the funniest, to be honest, though, because Luke has actually gone up to these people and yelled it to their faces. Yeah. And I was really excited. I'm like lying in bed with the covers up, and I'm imagining these people looking up and seeing Luke's face on a billboard, and they're going, "What's happening? It's him! He's back!" And I'm like,
To be fair, I was banned from a lot of venues in New York City for my reporting, and just to know that some of the people that banned me and kicked me out of New York City and all these venues would have to see my face in Times Square, that was priceless.
Wait a
so
minute,
I can't thank them enough for doing that.
I thought you were banned for Pee Wee Herman reasons. I thought you were banned for Pee Wee Herman reasons.
That's you, buddy, not me.
Michael, do you think that there's a way for the citizens to kind of unite interstitially without relying so much on the federal government, and that it could be better than completely absolving like Texas from the United States?
It is easier to abolish a cancer than to try to keep it small in perpetuity.
But that doesn't mean it's better. It is easier. It would be easier to just to throw it at the wall, I think, or try to. But it doesn't mean it would be better, because if people in Texas couldn't leave Texas...
They could leave. We're not going to build a wall around Texas.
No, if the federal government had checkpoints...
No, we want the wall.
Not a...
Build the wall. Build the wall. Build the wall. Build the wall. Build the wall.
All right, we're building a wall.
Yeah!
The wall just got 5 feet higher.
Michael's a man of the people.
I'm the what?
A man of the people.
I am.
They
what
want
can
a
I
wall.
say? The people...
Can't you tell by looking at him?
You know, we should be building a wall out of graphene. Super lightweight. It would be great. You could just print it in space, like right there.
Just hit it with a high-powered laser and form the metal right in front of you.
And we could have Blaire on our currency.
On the $1 bill.
But I think if we really went the direction of secession, that it would be like federal troops on every freeway, at every border crossing around the state, and people would they would be starved out.
We have planes. There was have you heard the Berlin airline?
But hold on, not even that. There's not enough federal forces for something like that, Ian.
Not yet. But
There never will be.
Well,
There never will be. So this is what we were talking about with New York. We talked about this morning with Alex. New York, Manhattan, just one of the 5 boroughs. Manhattan, of course, I think is the densest. It's 2.5 million people. I think 500,000 left, so maybe it's 2 million. They only have like 40,000 police in the entirety of New York City, which is 5 boroughs. If 10% of Manhattan was in unrest, there's no controlling it at all. None.
Period.
Every single officer, and that 40,000 number includes like desk officers who are just like filling paperwork. If you added even doubled it overnight, you still would not be able to stop 10% of just Manhattan alone. Now imagine if 10% of the whole metropolitan area, you're talking over 1 million people. So in these cities, they can barely maintain control if things truly do collapse.
What they're going to be good at is keeping the parents out of a school if the school's getting shut up.
I mean,
Yeah,
yes.
Uvalde.
They're pretty good at that, right?
True.
Yeah, but if the police do become overwhelmed, they would stand down. That's what would
They'd
happen.
leave.
Yeah, I mean,
Look at summer 2020.
Have you seen World War Z?
Yes.
There's that scene where when it first breaks down, he runs into the pharmacy to like get some medicine, and he sees a cop run in, and then he like puts his hands up, and the cop just runs past him and starts grabbing stuff off the shelves, and then runs away.
Yeah.
Like when it breaks down, cops are people. They're gonna be thinking the same thing other people are.
But drones, dude. Drones aren't people. Drones don't give a fuck, man. Drones will be patrolling every
robot
street
dogs.
corner. Like they'll be, and we're talking like it doesn't just end. Like if you.
Yeah. He's back. He's back. Ah!
I'm going to say one thing, one sentence. Hold on. I was on InfoWars not that long ago, and I asked Alex about Texit, and he officially endorsed it.
What do you think?
Yeah, but Alex, do you not realize there's outside influences like China that are the main drivers in Texit? Have you never heard that conspiracy?
Who's he saying I endorse?
No, I'm saying he's saying
Texit.
the idea of Texas leaving the Republic. People don't realize China is one of the biggest influencers of Texas leaving America.
No, but I don't mean we're actually going to leave. It's like when your wife threatens to leave you so you don't go out and get drunk at night. The states need to exercise their power, and they can create their own like recontribute the government, reconstitute, and fire the federal government.
Yeah.
But we need some type of peaceful way to remove this occupational coup of corporations and bureaucracies we have. And the good news is whether it's Robert Kennedy Jr., or whether it's Trump, or whether it's Tucker Carlson, or 1,000 other great people, all the prominent voices now recognize we're an occupied country by globalists. And the good news is once they're identified, it's over, folks. They're illegitimate. We're going to beat them. They've already lost. They know it.
I think simply put, it's attrition. I've been saying this for a minute.
Yeah.
I'm fairly optimistic because if you've got two groups of people and one says have a strong family and take care of yourself and the other side says abort your children or sterilize them, the end result is just math.
Yes.
We all agree.
You put out joke tweets, I've seen them. It's satirical saying, I think it's great the left's all sterilizing and killing themselves so none of them left. They don't get mad at that.
Well, not that. I say sterilize your children. But that was a little extreme. I am in no way happy if anyone takes their life. In fact,
Tim Pool said commit suicide.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Sorry, you two.
I said spay and neuter your children to prevent overpopulation and stop climate change.
And the left loved that.
Yeah.
No, they just ignore it.
Yeah.
And I think the reality is because anybody who's actually stopping their own reproduction or anyone who supports this, I think if you're an advocate for this and you go to a family and say, by the way, the end result of what we're advocating for will be you not having kids, and conservatives who have 4 kids are going to take over the country, that would put alarm bells in their heads.
And so I'm saying, thank you, liberals, for committing.
No, stop.
It's not InfoWars, it's YouTube.
Whoa there.
Can we?
Thank you,
Let me-
liberals, for.
Let's just say this.
Can we acknowledge
know.
or run a panel that Blaire White's the most normal person on this panel?
Yeah.
Let me edit this. I believe that if the left addressed what I said about not having kids, they would have to tell all of their followers have as many kids as possible.
Because
But
they're
they,
eugenicists. They don't do that.
No,
But they
Tim, they
can't-
have the
they
massive.
can't say that.
We have immigration for that.
but
Yeah.
I
That's
still,
their idea is replace everybody.
Yeah.
And, I
And-
don't want these people coming, but say, don't have kids, and these people have kids. That's mean.
but that also is, it's somewhat paradoxical when the news puts out 2 messages where they're like, there's too many people but not enough, and they're doing it at the same time. I don't think that's tenable for
Their message
even the
is very
left.
schizophrenic.
But I think it won't even work on the left.
Yeah, but Tim, you even said though when it
Let me
comes
do
to
a better Tarzan yell. Let me hear it.
I have this is a podcast.
I think it only takes 4. You're talking about censorship. You're talking about censorship versus free speech.
That's going to be a t-shirt. Tim Pool, this is a podcast.
But all it has to do is be 49% censorship and 51% free speech, and free speech will win, or vice versa. You said that earlier. Tim, you said this morning that right now how they use censorship is that 49% they censor and 51% they don't. So that over time, just that little difference in percentage, they will win.
They're
So
saving it over time.
that's what I'm saying. It only takes time. And you guys are talking about the boiling in the frog boiling in the pot of water. They do it slowly, and that's the problem with it.
Alex Jones needs a mic.
Oh, okay. You don't have a mic on?
No, I took my mic off. It's not that big.
Are these working?
Yes.
It's you.
Yeah, communism. Like,
Wait, are you talking to the audience? What is going on? I did not sign up for this.
That's actually my twin brother who has Rasta hair.
I remember that guy from that viral video. That was really good, man.
Yeah.
Is this even on? No.
Let me see. Let me turn it on.
this one's on.
It's on.
Autobots transform and roll out. Don't act so surprised, Your Highness. You weren't on a mercy mission this time. I want to know what happened to the plans they sent you. You are part of Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
Keep going, I guess. I don't
You know he must have been like this in grade school too, right?
You may now rise, Lord Poole. Darth Poole.
Alex,
The leftists are relentless. You must destroy them. Darth Poole.
I hope we're at least recording.
Alex, what do you think would be a peaceful way for the people to take care of this like corporate parasite?
Start laughing at the corporations that try
Yes,
to bully us
yes.
into submission who they're not out for our own good and say, we're libertarians, we're the real liberals, you're fascist, and fuck you! Yeah! Fuck you, New Orleans! Yes! Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space!
I gotta ask Alex, is Michelle Obama a boy or girl, Alex?
He'll know.
Alex, is Michelle Obama a boy or girl?
You know.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I dated Big Mike. No, it's true.
I thought we would like have a conversation about policy and stuff, but boy was I stupid.
Yeah,
Well, we're here in Central Austin getting drunk, motherfucker. Fine. No, Tim Pool is very smart. I said today, best podcast ever done on actual issues. 2 hours long, incredible. Culture War.
Culture War podcast this morning.
You have done well, Lord Vader.
We talked about aliens, and you know what was really sad is that we had this conversation this morning with Alex and Luke and Shane Cashman, and they all brought up the magnetic fields that connect all of us, and I could feel Ian's heart get crushed that he wasn't there. Finally, when they're talking about it, he's just not in the room.
By the way, Ian and I are getting married in Las Vegas next week.
Yeah. We're creating our own magnetic field, if you know what I mean.
Wait, you're cheating on me?
Blaire White is officiating.
You're cheating on...
Every human has their own magnetic field, and then the Earth has its magnetic field. The sun has one, and then the galaxy has one.
It's not a debate. We are all attuned to that. That's what we're really on.
Graphene.
What is that?
Megatron, prepare to die.
So what, do you guys meditate? Like, raise your hands. Who meditates in here?
Oh, look at
I think that may be a step in the future.
Raise your
where you
hand. My
start
wife's over there.
meditating.
She
I do
meditates.
meditate. And it helps you listen. It makes it easy to listen because you pay attention to everything that's going on around you. And when we start meditating in mass, like 60, 70% of us at once, man, we can change the consciousness.
Or we can become gay.
I need to.
Alex Stein sure talks about being gay a lot.
Oh, I just got busted by AJ. I'm out of the
But
closet.
he does have a big old juicy booty.
Michael Malice.
That Bud Light on there.
All right. Very. Michael Mouse, can you say something smart to save the conversation?
Yeah.
Save it, Michael, save it. Say something smart.
I was going to my happy place. Hey, I will say something actually that's useful based on what you were saying. I wanted to give a shout out to a wonderful organization here in Texas called the Church Asylum Methoxin.
Yes.
And what they do is they work with vets who have PTSD or traumatic brain injury. They go on these microdoses, and this is a great mechanism for these people who have suicidal ideation and other kinds of trauma. Look them up, Church Asylum Methoxin. It is legal.
Say that slowly. The Church of
Silomethoxin, P-S-I-L-O-M-E-T-H-O-X-I-N. Because what happens is these guys go overseas, they come back different, and then they just throw them their Pfizer and good luck treating the symptoms. So look them up. I think they're doing great
So
work.
you're the fruit punch guy.
It's mushrooms DMT hybrid.
And it's like a psychoactive therapy with communication.
Yes.
I'm a proud customer. Love it.
Yeah, that's a big part of the whole psychedelic craze is the communication aspect of it, which is really what it is. Like, I don't know if it just gets you to a place where you're able to listen with your gut.
But I think it's important to say
Is anybody
this.
look at the chat room?
Everybody thinks the left are all in a religion of control and what words you can use, and they're the people all freaked out and scared. We're up here, I don't even call ourselves conservative, we're just free-thinking people, and we're having fun, folks, because we're not a bunch of hypocrites.
Blaire, are you
been
having
doing
fun?
What?
Are you having fun?
Yeah, I'm on shrooms.
And we've got, are you on mushrooms right now?
A little bit.
And we got the fruit punch guy over here.
Yeah, but and Alex, I want to ask you though. So, who do you think's responsible for Tower 7?
Wait. Hold on, man.
Here comes Tim. It's you two.
9/11 was not an inside job.
Whoa. Alex.
Dad is talking.
World Trade Center 7 now.
Yeah, please.
The CIA headquarters in Manhattan.
So
we're still on YouTube, right?
Here, I'll do this instead. Can I give a shout out to Ron Paul?
Yeah, Ron Paul!
But let me say why. Because I have him on Timcast IRL for the first time. It's an honor. And then, like, one of the first things he says is, a revolution happened in 1962 when our own government killed our president, JFK.
63.
Wait, it's 63.
63?
November
I asked him,
22nd.
just make sure. I think he said, I thought it was 63, but he said 62. But
One is Ron Paul's getting more hardcore. We're all getting more hardcore.
63. He said 63. Yeah, November 22nd,
Okay, I got it wrong.
1963. He said 62 later in the episode about something else that they had been like doing.
The biggest thing is that Ron Paul secretly is one of the top porn stars in America.
But here's
Joking.
my point. Here's the point I want to make. We're at a point where, I mean, what was it? Actually, we got Alex Jones sitting here. How much of what you've said in the past they claimed was fake news? Epstein, for instance. And then all of a sudden, the dude's literally in jail. Maxwell's literally convicted.
About 95% of what we covered, quote, came true because it was already true. And then they would cherry pick a few things we just speculated on and say, oh, his whole career is this thing that was wrong. So that's what they do. But yeah, that's why they're, I mean, mainstream media has like a 7% approval rating in Gallup.
Wait, Alex,
Congress has a 9%.
Alex.
They're done. They're a joke.
Why do you call them mainstream when their ideology is radical and
No, I agree. Establishment, corporate, enemy of the people, dinosaur, legacy, dead media, corporate, state-run, fraud media.
The corp.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Malice.
The corporate press is the enemy of the people. Yes?
No,
Period.
let me ask the crowd. Let me ask all the panel here. What is the proper name of the corporate prostitute media? Because there's dinosaur media, legacy media, enemy of the people.
Dinosaurs are cool. The fake news. The fake news.
Fourth Street Media.
This is what democracy looks like.
All right. Is it fake news?
Fake news.
Is it corporate propaganda? Is it bullshit? And it's already collapsing. Humanity's rising.
I think,
Hey, but I want to say this.
You can't call it dinosaur media or legacy media because dinosaurs are cool and legacies are cool.
But they're not
You
real.
want to leave the legacy to your kids.
So it's state-run propaganda.
The corporate press.
But I want to say this, Tim, and this is why Alex is always right, and I think he'll agree with me, is that they have to tell us what they're doing. It's part of their karma. It's called natural law. So the evil people,
Yes.
it's like going into the woods. They don't have to tell you where the bear trap is. They just have to tell you that somewhere there's a bear trap in this woods.
Yeah, that's why
Let me-
Larry Silverstein goes on national television and says he's going to, take down
We,
Building
we,
7.
we, hold on. We talked about this today. The idea is
He wants a drink.
when we were talking on the Culture War podcast, the general idea is
Bring
that
me a drink, darling.
they allow conversations like this to happen.
You there, female, bring me a drink. Sorry.
What? You have one.
Oh, sorry, I have other drinks. Sorry, I'm joking. Let's bring my wife up here. Come on up here. Come up here. Oh, yeah. I need a woman sitting in my house. Now we're talking. Come on.
Oh, hey, wait, I'm leaving, guys. I'm Primetime 99.
love
Please
you.
watch my Blaze show, Primetime with Alex Stein. I love you guys. I'm out of here. Tim's kicking me off.
Really leaving?
Yeah, I showed him my dick backstage. I drank too much Bud Light. So I love you guys. I'm out.
Now we're doing that. To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and the lamentation of the women.
All right, so Alex
Nightmare.
Alex left and someone else just showed up. Who is this?
This is.
Hi, I'm Hannah Claire Brimlow, and I'm a writer for Timcast.com.
Alex Stein just morphed into a woman?
Yes.
Yeah. We had that Bud Light earlier.
Can't relate.
It was a long time coming.
One Bud
It's the Bud Light.
So here's what we were saying. When we were talking about, Alex Stein was mentioning, they won't tell you where the bear trap is, they'll tell you it exists. The idea is they want enough people who are smart enough to figure out what's going on so that they don't, let's just put it simply like, how did you describe it on this morning? They feel like if they come out and say, this is exactly what we're doing, and if stupid people walk into a bear trap, it's their own fault.
Alex said that. That was a genius way to say it. It's sort of like, hey, there's a trap out here. We're telling you it's there. Now see what happens.
But so that means that people who are smart enough to see it and avoid it, they're like, well, good for you. You were smart enough to avoid
Well,
it.
yeah, they built in, I call it an IQ test. So people that see what's going on, the globalists are trying to reimpose social Darwinism. I don't agree how they're doing it. But they're saying, hey, if you can figure this out, you're going to be okay. We're doing you a favor killing these people. We're posing as liberals. We're killing all of them. And I'm like, that's not very nice. So I think we should reach out to the liberals and go, you're kind of the people that got caught in the trap. We don't want to euthanize you and kill you. And they're so brainwashed, you're like, okay, the globalists are right. Go ahead and kill you.
So it's like
I mean, I don't actually agree with that because, my spirit tells me that's not nice. But let's just be honest. That's what this is.
Is it that they'll tell you what the problem is, and then if you can figure it out, they think you're smart enough to live, basically?
I described it this morning like an arc. The general idea is a bunch of really bad things are happening to a bunch of people, and they allow conversations like this because they're like, okay, if people are smart enough to figure it out, then they deserve to live.
And they think the public's so dumb they won't hear it. But we're not dumb. People are distracted and they're diverted, but they're smart when they are focused.
Oh, hell, have you met the public?
Well, that's interesting. The difference between stupidity and ignorance.
We are changing the zeitgeist. It is a consciousness that we're all here for. That's why we're here. Okay? So regardless of what any individual is doing or cares about, we're here for freedom. We're here for truth. And we are here to take our country back. Yeah, the collective, absolutely. And I'm 100% sure that everyone here in the audience has something amazing to say about why they're here
Then
today.
why aren't they on stage?
In fact, later, Lord Poole, who put this great thing on, maybe we should have folks from the audience make comments. Oh, let's get ready to rumble. Come back here.
This is actually our super chats for the night.
Erica Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel like Blaire needs to talk about something.
I feel like my wife's giving Blaire wine a run for money, but they're too.
It's a throuple. It's a throuple. Can I drink this?
You may.
Thank you.
Blaire White's still in my drink now. He's trying to marry me.
What do you think? You wanna get questions from the audience? I mean, I kind of like.
No, I just threw that out for later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's going to be our super chat.
We are going to take
Or we
questions.
can just hand out hand grenades.
You got news, Luke?
I feel like the rest should be Q&A.
Hey, I have news I want to talk about. Montana's legislature.
You might need to talk into your mic.
Oh, do I have to talk to my mic? Hold on.
There you go, beautiful. Hey, this is revolutionary. The fact that it's all crazy is even better. Ah! I'm going to take a piss break.
This is like the craziest pep rally. I wish my high school had this kind of energy.
This is insane.
I was going to ask you guys, Montana's legislature just passed a bill that would effectively ban it from the state, although they're not really sure how they'll implement it. It's not at the government level. They will prosecute TikTok.
Ban what?
TikTok.
Oh, okay.
From being able to be downloaded by people in Montana. Do you guys feel like this infringes on the rights of tech companies, of individuals? What's your take on this?
Yeah,
It hasn't been signed into law, but it's been sent to the governor's
My
desk.
first take is banning corporations is insane, and it sets a precedent. I don't like it.
Yeah.
If you ban, hold on, I'm gonna say something no one's thought of before, but it just came to me. If you're banning TikTok today, you can ban ghost guns tomorrow.
That's true.
And if you're banning a program that's downloadable, that's going to stop 3D printing in its tracks, and that is the great thing on the horizon. And all credit to Cody Wilson and his team who are doing such great work with Defense Distributed.
But let me. I think you can be surgical in your approach. We don't want the Restrict Act. That's the Trojan horse.
It doesn't matter what we want.
Is there not
matters
a
what they
happy-
can get away with?
Is there not a happy
sure, but
medium
listen.
that we can stop them from collecting the certain types of data that we don't want them to
I
have
don't
and just
care.
banning it outright?
But I mean, it's a problem that they're collecting data, but my bigger concern is the algorithmic manipulation and
Yeah.
what they're. So, like we've talked about, if you look at Dylan Mulvaney's TikTok early on, Dylan was doing animals, nature, and that content did not work.
And trans work.
When first non-binary, and it did a little bump, then trans skyrocket because TikTok said, promote this. So what's happening is you enter a platform where this is what Alex was talking about, Stein, when he said I mentioned 49% censorship, 51% speech. They allow 51% of the ideas they want to pass to be allowed, and they censor 40. They allow among us 49% of our conversations, and among the left 51. Over a long enough period of time, they're creating a pressure system that pushes people to the left.
It also is an exponential algorithm because
Right.
51% tomorrow is going to be like 51.7% the next day.
It compounds. So that's my bigger concern with TikTok. So when they say that they want to ban TikTok, I'm like, if it's surgical, whatever, fine. If it's a blanket, like we can ban whatever program we want, well, we obviously don't want that. But if they have a bill that says TikTok, which is controlled by a foreign adversary, cannot operate here, I'm like, okay.
But Tim, the Patriot Act was only for terrorists. And 30.
But no, hold on.
Hold on, I want to say one thing.
But it wasn't.
Hold on. Can I
they-
say one thing? If you're just going to give a government the right to commit surgery, pretty soon all of us are going to be dismembered.
I feel like you're taking, if we here agree this specifically in one specific context, we don't want this one thing, it doesn't mean we ban all things. If we say surgeries on minors for sex change surgery for minors should not be allowed, doesn't mean we're saying no one can ever get surgery again.
So let's just ban AK-47s, right?
Well, I can't hear you.
Well, let's just ban AK-47s. It's the same logic.
It's a slippery
But
slope,
it isn't. Just because you can ban one, like, if we ban
He didn't
TikTok,
mean that.
we're not saying ban AKs. In fact, we would vote against that.
No, what I'm saying is if you just ban one thing today, tomorrow they're going to use it as a blanket with precedent.
That's
So-
true.
Does it matter
I think
that
the
there's
difference in
bipartisan
our opinion is more philosophical and less.
No, it's not philosophical. The point is, I can't trust the government to do one thing surgically today and not extrapolate on that tomorrow.
Oh, I got it. No. It's, you have
Alex, what do you think about the government of, what's it, Montana, Hannah Claire?
Montana banning TikTok.
Attempting to ban TikTok?
I'm against banning TikTok because TikTok does everything that our evil big tech does. And then Tim's been hammering on this. The Restrict Act is the holy grail of 20 years in jail for using a virtual browser or quote disinformation. So they create a bill has nothing to do with TikTok just because they're mad the Chinese communists made something as evil as what they've done. Facebook, Google, they're all just as bad. Twitter was just as bad until Elon Musk took it over. And I got to say, I'm not, here, we're just worshiping Elon Musk for sucking his dick. But he's come a long way in really freeing a lot of people, doing a lot of stuff. So I want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. But there's a real revolution happening. And the ground zero is here tonight with Tim Pool and all of you.
Wait. Ground Zero's a bad place to be. I don't know, Ground Zero.
Michael, may you live in interesting times.
But here's the other thing. You ban TikTok today, you're banning Alex Jones 5 minutes later.
Which I got banned before TikTok. So.
Yeah, it was Alex and then TikTok, actually.
Do you think there's any
The truth is, we're letting our kids do this and feed the evil into
I have a
TikTok.
question for Alex.
I want to respond to what Michael said.
Okay.
So you think the government should be allowed to ban anything, or is that going too far?
I don't think, first of all, the government of Montana is in a position to be governing.
But we're talking.
it's Idaho,
let's
actually.
talk about specifically a federal level ban on TikTok. You say no.
Hold on. I think it is a very important distinction if states are banning downloads versus federal. So that, I think, is just crazy on its face. But in terms of federal, no, I don't think that.
I don't think the Fed should be able to, and a state sure as hell shouldn't be able.
Can we have Michael?
Yes, I will let him know.
I really don't think this bill is for 5 seconds only going to be used for TikTok.
I read the bill. It has nothing to do with TikTok.
But okay, I'm trying. So this is the question: should the federal government be allowed to ban anything?
Yeah, murder.
Okay, but if they
Well,
can,
no, that's a state issue. So maybe.
but if they can ban murder today, they can ban AK-47s.
The
tomorrow.
feds control the currency, the borders, interstate commerce, and the Navy in the Constitution. Nothing else.
Okay, if they can ban murder, they can ban AK-47s tomorrow.
I can't hear you, Tim. Sorry.
If they can ban murder, they can ban AK-47s tomorrow.
I don't see that's true at all.
But
No.
why not?
Well, it's in the Constitution. There's jurisdiction over federal crimes of murder.
Okay, so Mike,
Wait.
you said if they can ban TikTok today, they can ban AK-47s tomorrow.
No, I said if you ban AKs today, like they say, it's just AKs, tomorrow they're going to go after all guns, right? You acknowledge that.
All semi-auto.
Yes.
Right. So if they're going to say today we have the precedent, we're going to ban TikTok, very soon they can nudge any company they want just like they do on the back end with Twitter during COVID, and say, look, we banned TikTok, we don't want to ban you too, and every single other tech company is going to have to fall in line.
It's a domino.
So let's
why give them an
talk
inch?
specifically then about child sex change surgery. Should the federal government ban that?
No, it should be a
the
state-by-state
states.
issue.
So the state government,
Just like
but-
Ron Paul said,
so-
abortion's a state issue.
So then, what's fundamentally the difference between a federal ban and a state ban?
Because
Honest question.
there's certain rights, that the 10th Amendment.
Okay,
Federalist law, federal law.
Should a state be allowed to ban TikTok?
No.
Should a state be allowed to ban anything?
Certain things, I don't believe in government.
Within its jurisdiction.
This is where I'm trying to.
It's
I'm trying to say-
interstate
hold on.
commerce. He can't ban something that's international.
Under the Constitution, there are things that it is more permissible under our legal system to be done on a state level than the federal level. And for decades, especially since the 1860s, the federal government has usurped those rights to itself.
So what I'm trying to understand is, if a state can say ban child sex changes, right? Like we're seeing in a bunch of these states.
Sure.
Could they then ban appendectomies or something?
I'm not a judge, probably.
Yeah.
The other thing
The point I'm bringing up is, saying you can legally perform a surgery that we all agree is vital is different from saying that one goes too far. So we have to ban one, but not the other. And we need some enforcement mechanism to stop things that are bad.
With people banning this kids' sex changes, they're acting in faith. I think the people trying to ban TikTok and AK-47s are not.
Exactly.
That's a big difference.
Because children can't choose yet. They can't buy a gun. They can't buy liquor. They can't.
Hold on.
So
if
how
you
do
want
we-
to,
how do we deal with-
if you want to ban TikTok for kids, I'm all for it.
Okay, that's potentially a solution then.
Yeah.
We say 18 and up only.
You statist. What's wrong with you? Let the private market speak for itself, Malice.
See, that's my question for you though, Luke. If you've got a foreign entity that is funding an operation that's manipulating our kids,
You mean the CIA?
Look,
You mean InQtel? You mean Facebook? You mean all the other multinational corporations working in secret, trying to undermine our sovereignty and destroy us through fifth generational warfare? Those dirty motherfuckers? So I agree. There's bad people everywhere, but the problem and the way to solve bad problems and bad people is not with more bad people and more bad government. The way to really solve it is on a core issue, on a local issue, on a decentralized issue, and this is why the states' rights are I believe, the best decentralized rights that we should be promoting, talking about, rather than looking for someone to come into our lives and tell us how to live our life. I think we're grown adults. We know how to live our life. We know what to do. And if we make a mistake, hey, if China knows when you poop, hey, that's the world we're living in, but that's a better situation than a government coming in and saying, you can't do this because we don't like you doing that.
Endorse, yeah!
So then the end result, I suppose, is national divorce. You'll have California choosing A and Texas choosing B, and maybe that's what everyone's okay with.
We already have that. We have that with abortion. We have that with gun rights. We already have a decentralized form of government that we need to incentivize, and we need to limit the fascist federal government from intervening and putting their boots on America's neck. Let the states decide. You want to live in New York? You want to live in a communist hellhole? Go right ahead. You want to live in a free state of Texas or Florida and be able to have a firearm?
Okay. Now here's the issue.
Be able to do whatever you want?
Here's the issue I take with that. California is a sanctuary state that from 2010 to 2020 got one extra electoral college vote because of the illegal immigrants that were living in that state. They then exert that power over the federal government. So if the question then is, how do we deal with that? It is national divorce.
The
Or
same
at the very
question,
least,
same answer is Tim. How do you deal with what's going on in Canada? Don't be a Canadian.
There you go. Yeah.
Period.
So what needs to be considered then is California has undue influence over the federal government,
yes,
as do many blue states, and that needs to be addressed first and foremost. Perhaps that means Texit, perhaps that means national divorce, but that may be the only solution.
I honestly think that if California vanished, the federal government would still have far too much undue influence on the Republic of Texas.
No, agreed, but I'm saying California is a large portion of the influence in D.C.
I don't think it's based on California. It's based on Harvard and Yale and Stanford.
MIT.
And all these other entities. And they are, the thing about globalists is they can live wherever they want. So if California gets destroyed, they'll just move to Oregon.
Regarding the TikTok thing, rather than, I think, going after these companies and saying squashing that bad thing, destroying that bad thing, I think we need to look at it as a rights issue, and that we need an amendment for the Constitution to give me the right to see that data. I have a right to know what these corporations are twisting behind the scenes. So you force them to free their software code because it's a civil rights issue. It's actually a human rights issue. You can't let computers control you. You control the computer.
But let me translate for Ian because he's right. Because Michael made a look on his face.
Yes, I did.
He did.
I made a look.
That's always. That's
I made
right.
a look because there's no amendment to the Constitution that's going to fix this because judges and politicians aren't going to look at that amendment in good faith.
I think what
The Second Amendment is unambiguous, and they're like, well, we don't care.
agreed. And Dave Smith made the best point
Who?
when he said
Wait, that clown?
tomorrow, everyone in this, I believe it's tomorrow, everyone has to incriminate themselves to the federal government.
Oh yeah, tax day.
Tax day. That we're supposed to be protected from self-incrimination, yet
Oh, they
if
moved
you
it back to the 18th? Is that what-
so if on the 18th you do not incriminate yourself based on the money received, in fact, I love this. IRS actually says you must disclose income from illegal sources.
Yes.
The Constitution protects us from disclosing, from incriminating ourselves. It's been ripped to shreds.
They don't care. And it's been that way from the
Agreed.
jump. They were arresting people for criticizing the federal government under the Adams administration.
Was it the Sedition Act or something?
Yes, the Sedition Act. It's crazy. It used to be a felony to teach how to prevent pregnancy with contraception. And they had stings where they caught doctors. This is not some kind of Handmaid's Tale fantasy. This was America in the late 1800s.
And I do want to stress this too. I think gun rights have actually never been stronger either, despite
Correct.
the fact. Was it?
Correct. You're correct.
Right.
I'm agreeing with you 100%.
So with the NFA back in, what was it, like 1930? What year was it?
the National Firearms Act, right?
But what year was it, like
33?
1930, 35 or something?
30, something like that, yeah.
It was because fully automatic machine guns started to become prominent, and they said, we can't deal with this, so just start banning stuff. And if you look at the constitutional carry map going back to the 80s, we've never had more rights. We've been winning that fight.
The answer for gun control debate is gun proliferation because they're not discussing things in good faith. They cannot wait until there's a tragedy to take that gun out of your pocket. And the best example of this is Oklahoma City. Disgusting, horrible act. So many kids died, and there was no guns used. And it's like, well, we got to ban guns. They don't care. They will leverage whatever they can to further their control over anyone's life. And I know I sound like Alex Jones, but Alex was right here.
In reality, in history, even, what does the government do after they take the guns?
Just give you hugs.
No, they do whatever they want afterwards.
I'm about to leave the stage for an hour because we have the magical Phil Labonte coming up. And I want to agree before I leave. I think that there is a risk that they won't follow the law, but I think an amendment would be the groundwork as opposed to banning a corporation.
Phil,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ian's got a mic.
Phil motherfucking Labonte!
Graphene.
What's going on, everybody? How we doing?
I
think your mic is way too loud.
One.
Your mic is way too loud.
What? Oh.
I think we.
It's too loud.
We
Too
won't
loud.
Do that. I think we have another mic that we can pass around.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. So.
Hello.
Hello, Austin.
Why don't we have like Mary come up because we got an empty seat. Is Mary around?
Yeah, where is Alex?
Yeah.
Alex is busy. Mary, where are you at?
Is he just
Bring
doing,
Mary on.
Is he just doing rails in the bathroom? What is going on?
Railing someone in the bathroom.
You want it?
I think he's in the
His
bathroom
wife,
with
his wife,
Alex
his wife.
Stein.
Phil, you've got a lot to address now, considering we're talking about statism, gun rights, self-incrimination.
Yeah, Phil, save the show.
Save the show.
There's a lot going on here. I mean, up here, like with this crew, I am a bit of a statist. I think that, like, you know, it's okay if the country exists. I understand that.
Boo.
I mean, you know, like wild and crazy extremist up here. I think.
He's
you know,
hashtag still with her.
But the thing is, if you
Blue Lives Matter.
If you had a population that approached the 10th Amendment as if it mattered, I think the appetite for dissolving the country would go
We just
away.
got to vote in the right people.
No. I get it. No. Like
The next guy's gonna fix it.
It's not about voting. You're not going to vote. You're not going to vote people's opinion into saying yes, I'm pro states' rights. You're not going to vote that. That's something that has to be taught to kids, and something that has to be done through, you know, not just school choice. It's got to be like people having more kids, like Tim talks about, with like, you know, conservatives having more kids, teaching their kids that things like states' rights matters, like independence
I
matters
intend
and
to
stuff.
be free in my lifetime, not in 40 years.
I'm not saying that you shouldn't be.
If you're saying we gotta wait for the kids to grow up and teach them all this stuff and maybe the 10th Amendment, it's not. That's too late for me. We're gonna be free very soon and in our lifetime. Mark my words.
I mean, it's not like I'm arguing with you, and not like I'm.
Well, why does it feel like it?
I don't know, Mike.
Listen, what's gonna happen? Texit's gonna leave, and you're gonna be the remains.
Come on, Pine.
I have to go off the stage every 10 minutes to keep the frogs gay. I gotta go off the stage to keep the frogs gay. It's a constant job of mine.
Someone's got to do it.
You're making a lot of good points, though. Michael Malice is pretty scary in that clown outfit.
He looks terrifying.
He looks like it.
What is the? I didn't hear if you went over the.
He's the fruit punch guy.
Why are you ruining the bit?
How is that rude? That's what you are.
I know you're not supposed to.
Are you objectifying Hawaiians?
Cultural appropriation.
Why are they booing?
Who booed?
Are they saying boo-earns?
Hate Hawaii.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, let me, Alex.
the captain of the Fruit Punch Band, Michael Malice. And his beautiful consort, Blaire.
Not the fake consort.
And
Not the false
Jimbo's
narrative.
beautiful consort, Luke Radowski. Little secret I just released, they're actually married.
The gorilla.
I'm a gorilla. You like that? I'm a gorilla? Murder yourself?
Are we official?
We made a T-shirt about it.
Are we
I'm a
officially?
gorilla. Murder yourself.
Are we officially off the rails now? Is this the moment?
No.
Wait.
I think we always were.
Yeah.
I want to circle back. I had a question
Are we-
for Alex.
Circle back. Here we go.
Back to Elon Musk. Why are you the only person he won't unban? What's up with that?
Because this is true. It's not exaggerated.
It makes me mad.
They ran a CIA program looking back over 10 years what I did, picked a few things inside of context, ran giant ad campaigns, thousands of articles, thousands of TV shows, making up what I said about a supposed event.
I think this episode
And
is...
then he knows there's a battery of hate and a battery of disinfo put on my name. So to challenge that would mess up all his other plans to liberate things. So I was a sacrificial lamb to say Alex Jones is the worst person ever. He kills the children. Jesus says tie a millstone around his neck. He needs to be murdered and thrown in the ocean. I love it because in this system where the enemy's a lie, I want to be the black sheep and have them against me. So Elon Musk is playing 3D chess, and I love it. Do never bring me back to Twitter, Elon Musk.
But he should unban you.
You guys are great. It's much better, thank you. It's much better in this paradigm to be the outlier. And I'm not like some deal with Elon Musk or anything, but I can tell, look, if he tried to put me back for so much demonization, that would color everything else he did. So I think in the future that'll happen. I'm not even worried about it. And I'll tell you, it's the millions that got banned, the millions that got censored, the millions that got surveilled for them to ban them. It's the surveillance that's illegal. Government, corporate collusion all came out in Congress a few months ago. That's the real crime. And so I was prominent when they banned me. It made me bigger. Everybody else they banned, it hurt them. So they're the real victims, not me.
Well, it's like a badge of honor. You're too free speech for the free speech platform, which is pretty ballsy.
No! Sam Callison!
It's fine. He's fine. Look at God.
All right, so
They're really the best.
This takes.
I
the
think
cake.
this episode is like 80% screaming.
But nothing beats when you did it in
Now
the
back to
mobile
Building
studio,
7.
And it was so loud.
Sorry,
I mean,
go
they
ahead,
blew up
Hannah.
Building 7.
Oh,
And I'm
no.
not saying there aren't radical Muslims, any of that, but they blew Building 7, so we should have a discussion about it.
Oh, I was saying was like, do you remember when we did this about a year ago from the mobile studio and we had Alex Jones and Joe
Where's
Rogan.
Joe Rogan?
And I felt like I could hear you guys
Where's Joe?
several states away. It was so loud.
It was
Lots
brilliant.
of fun, but I definitely went deaf.
It was brilliant.
It was a good show.
As someone
Yeah, my
who watched
eardrum
from home,
blew
it was
out.
Brilliant.
I got bit by a
So,
dog.
do
You got
think
bit by a
being
dog.
Reinstated. Oh, yeah, you did get bit by a dog.
Yeah.
And Alex and I got married. That was fun.
Yeah.
Let's just say this. I'm not begging for crumbs from Elon Musk. And I believe in the people and the power of humanity. And Musk is trying to side with that. He's actually opened up Twitter a lot. Compared to everything else, he's doing a great job. So I'm not going to attack him because he didn't reinstate me. I get it. I'm so demonized and so radioactive. He'd have to take on all the lies about me to be able to put me back, and that would derail everything else he was doing. So I'm like, hey, go with it. I'm Satan. Great. Keep it up, brother.
But it's not you.
It is only
Unban Alex.
No, but it's not you. Who would you want to see reinstated? Like, who is not reinstated on Twitter you would like to see
Everyone but him is.
Well, I'll say this. I know Louis Farrakhan. I've interviewed him, talked to him, and they take a few things out of context, but overall, I agree about 95%. 5% I disagree with. But Louis Farrakhan gets the voice, too. They leave all these dictators on Twitter, that are running death camps. North Korea's on Twitter, but Louis Farrakhan isn't. I'm an adult. I should be able to hear what Louis Farrakhan's saying. So that's
we go back to the previous question about TikTok and should we ban social media for minors then?
No, I think parents should take control of their lives and all of their kids on. I don't need the state in there doing that.
Yeah, you don't want the
I
government
don't agree with
raising
that
your children.
statist, Michael Malice.
You're the bigger statist than me, Mr. Constitution.
It's a joke. I know you're a bigger anarchist than me. It's a joke.
It's not a joke, it's the truth.
He's such a purist over there. I'm not putting him down for it.
I want to go back to Elon
But he
Musk.
can't take a joke.
I want to go back to
And now,
let's
Michael
go back
Malice
to
and Alex
Elon
Jones,
Musk.
cage fight at the Vulcan Gas Company.
To
One
the
night
show.
only.
Let's go back to Elon Musk.
What's that?
I think it's only a matter of time before Elon does bring you back. And I think the more you see Elon engaging in the culture war, like that BBC interview, where
He destroyed them.
I mean, that's an understatement. I mean, this journalist, he said, "Can you give me one example of what you're talking about?" He goes, "No."
He goes,
Is
what
there
about your
an
dis-
example?
What about your disinfo about masking and the poison shots?
And so-
the guy goes, "You're not interviewing me."
But hold on. The BBC edits part of it out when they put it up. I see Elon Musk engaging in this way as it's only a matter of time before he feels confident enough he can say, "You're back."
It's clear that
What would be your
it's
first
better
tweet,
now, that
Alex?
Twitter's better
Alex,
now than it was
what would be your
before.
first tweet
Obviously.
if you get reinstated? What would you tell everyone on Twitter?
What would your first tweet be?
I'm a gorilla, murder yourselves. No, seriously.
I didn't hear it.
My first tweet would be, eat, drink, and be merry, tomorrow we die. No,
Eat, drink, and be
seriously,
merry.
I don't, that's a big question I've thought about. I don't know what my first tweet would be. I would say, we're winning the culture war, and we're all adults, we can handle free speech. Whether you disagree with me or agree with me, get over it and agree with free speech, or move to North Korea.
Or Canada.
Hey, how's your cat? Wasn't one of the lawsuits you were in? They were trying to take your cat from you.
Oh yeah, do you still have your cat?
Oh, yeah. No, I never had these hundreds of millions of dollars the media claimed. And so they tried to take everything away from me. I'm like, I already spent it all trying to fight you. Wow, it's like a joke. And so they literally, the feds, the Justice Department had me come to a hearing about 3 months ago, and they said, we hear you have a fancy cat, and we may want to confiscate it. And I was like, well, we looked up the smartest cat. It's ragdolls. We got one, and we've had it for 3 years. So it's a gift to my daughter. And they're seriously looking at taking my cat. So imagine that video where they're coming and arriving to get the cat.
Is it because your cat's an asset? Is it because your cat is a monetary asset?
Well, it's a gift to my daughter. Doesn't matter. The cat was like $2,000, and I'm not some fancy breed person, but these are amazing cats. But look, it's just a way to harass me. So, free Mushu! Free Mushu! That's what my 5-year-old daughter named it when she was 2.5 and got the cat. She never watched Mulan. I know the dragon was named Mushu. Oh, that's Disney. No, she just said Mushu. And so it was the top story for 3 days, hundreds of millions of views on Twitter everywhere, and it blew up their face.
Alex, you should pet Mushu like Dr. Evil.
Are you?
Phil, you were saying something.
We should have Mushu on the stage tonight.
Phil, you had a comment. What was that?
Mushu is a way bigger star than anybody.
Phil?
No, I mean, we were talking about Twitter, and I think that it's pretty clear to everybody that, like, even with the problems that Twitter does have, it's way better now because
It's way
of what.
better, but the stone left unturned is that Alex is still off of there. It's
But
not
I
fucking
agree with
cool.
Alex on exactly this issue. Elon Musk is playing 4D chess. Give him time to start correcting this.
Well, they put such an investment in what I didn't do. I mean, like, I know I'm not that important. They didn't do tens of thousands of articles, thousands of TV shows, lying about what I said about mass shootings. For me, they did it to set the precedent that I'm the most demonized guy to then be able to ban everybody else. So he knows if he unbans me, he's fighting all that stored up propaganda so he can free, like, almost everybody else, and then I'm the sacrificial lamb. I kind of like it, actually. And I'm not a sadomasochist. If I was Elon Musk, I'd done the same thing, actually. If he really wants to free Twitter, you don't free Alex Jones. Because I'm already in the phantom zone bigger than ever because he did that. Free everybody else, and you know, because I've kind of noticed they're not blocking all our videos suddenly.
But Phil,
So, I'm banned on Twitter, sure, right.
Finish
I'm
your
all
thought.
over the place. We took the motherfucker over, bitches!
Finish your thought.
Victory!
But
Victory!
the point is that, like, the exposing the BBC the way that Musk did pays significant dividends in the culture war. That's something that can't be swept under the rug, and it can't be ignored. Now, like, I'm not saying that Musk is perfect. I'm not saying that Twitter's
Right,
perfect.
censorship only works if it's unified. You get one crack of the dam, game over, bitches.
But and I mean, I want to see, you know, Musk. I want to see Musk let Alex back as much as anyone else. But having it in Musk's, you know, as his property is far better for people like us than having it run by, what was it?
That's right.
By
George
Jack.
Soros
Even
and
Jack.
others are
Or
definitely trying
the
to
variety of
Here's the deal.
investors.
Trump's not perfect, and Musk isn't perfect, but the system's fighting him because of what they're doing, and it's real. So the system doesn't like Trump or Musk, so they're not perfect, neither am I, but I'm going to back them because the system is legitimately out to get them.
Michael, I'm curious your thoughts on all that.
I can't hear because everyone's talking.
You guys, you're offending Michael.
I'm not offended.
Michael
has sensitive ears. Pipe down.
I can't hear you. I don't. There's no monitors here.
You can't hear me?
Now I can hear you.
You can't hear me?
Yeah. What am I supposed to do?
What was that?
So he just
He
gave you
needs
the
another
mic
pee
and
break.
leaves.
It smells like gin and remorse.
So let me ask you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
So
I kind of want to talk about these dead kids that were shot for some reason.
I can't hear you now.
What?
So what Alex was saying is that he doesn't. The sentiment was we can't just rely on someone like, you know, we can't blindly support someone like Trump or Elon, but they are doing a lot, so we do support them.
It's a net positive.
I think every single person in this room, I'm being dead serious, has the capacity to move the needle a little bit in a better direction. And that's all any of us can be expected to do on this earth. And if there's enough, then great things happen gradually and then suddenly. That's how all change happens in every nation. That's how in the early 1800s, early part of the 19th century, William Lloyd Garrison was in Boston advocating for abolition, and he was almost lynched. And then it became just an obvious thing that, wait a minute, this is a horrible obscenity on the surface of this country. What are we going to do about it? In a matter of very few years. So that is how, here you go.
What is happening?
What he just said is key. No, he's right. In 1800 in England, maybe 0.5% was anti-slavery.
Yes.
10 years later, it was 30, 40%. 20 years later, it was the majority. It just takes moral people that tell the truth up front to say no to an obvious lie. Everybody else are followers. They're not going to call it out. But once that chain reaction happens, nothing can stop it because the people have the power, not the AI, not the New World Order. And speaking of the people. Speaking of the people.
That's a good segue right there, Alex.
If you'll let me, later we should do some questions.
Hold on, Michael.
And there's just plenty of people who just want to be part of the in-group. So if the in-group is for something positive, they're going to be on that bandwagon, just like they were in the COVID bandwagon.
So we got to form the bandwagon.
Yes.
Now this is what Vivek Ramaswamy was talking about last week with me. when he said that we all.
Oh, he's going to do my show, by the way. He does know who I am now.
Yes, we all
had a lot
thought
of
the
live chat,
AI
too.
monster was going to be a robot with laser eyes, but in fact, the AI monster is the algorithm and how it's manipulating people
Yes.
and pushing them into garbled nonsense.
Yes.
And us giving it power.
And one more time.
Us giving the AI system power.
So the recommendation algorithms on all these platforms. I'm gonna throw it back to what Ian was saying before when he said free the code. I've long argued with him that I think giving up a company's code is it's communism. Intellectual property is property. But insofar as if you are going to operate code that manipulates a person's psyche, their worldview, the recommendation algorithms, that should be available for public viewing because that is of public interest. However, I think several people on the stage are probably like the state shouldn't do anything, shouldn't
Well,
be
it's
involved
not
in
that. I don't think it's going to do much good because I think a lot of people are mindless.
I think if we educate people and say no to something and make it uncool, we'll all turn against it. And I think if we flood these platforms and attack these platforms, it'll be incredibly successful. What do you think about taking some questions from the audience?
In about 10 minutes.
Wait,
All right.
but here's
And
another
Ghost,
thing.
and Ghost Girl.
let's
Where's
talk
Ghost
about-
Girl?
Oh, yeah, where's
Ghost
Mary?
Girl needs to come on.
Let's mention something.
We've been
you guys
waiting
talk-
for Maria.
Community notes on Twitter. Right now, in real time, I'm a horrible journalist. I'm a horrible politician. I spread some lie. There was someone here in Texas who just said, oh, the governor just legalized killing black people even though the victim was white. And immediately the community note says the victim was white. And right away that person is exposed as a liar.
I
Elon
just
Musk.
for the first time tonight noticed community notes on an advertisement,
Oh, hell
which
yeah.
I thought was
What was
brilliant.
that?
I think it was an insurance
No,
company
it's
or
that
some kind of
flashlight that
banking.
says it can start fires. It's a lie.
No, it was way.
Saw that one.
It's a lie.
A fleshlight?
It is a lie. But it was on. I believe it was a bank or some insurance company. I don't remember exactly what it was. I actually
Deserving.
showed it to Allison. But it was the first time I saw community notes on an advertisement, and I thought it was brilliant.
That's great.
Yeah, I love how Musk has turned it against him. Like, oh, now the public can flag you.
Yes, exactly.
Now we can make comments, not little trusted advisors. So that's really what this comes down to is when we use our voice, we overpower the system.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Everybody's scrolling their timeline, looking at like, where is it, man?
And Tim, not for nothing, but the fact that you are competitive with CNN, it's just a huge asymmetry.
Yes, but let's be realistic. CNN may get garbage ratings on cable TV, but YouTube puts them on the front page and they destroy us.
Yeah.
Well, let's just talk about this.
Yeah, but I'd rather have your audience than CNN's audience have my back.
But let's talk about.
Well, let me address this. There's something else that's really important too that matters a lot more than just how many eyeballs they can get. When YouTube puts CNN on the front page, it drives nothing. They get a view. That's great. Advertisements run. That's great. But regular people aren't moved to purchase a product based on a CNN video with an advertisement on it. So when we have advertisers and sponsors, granted we're doing our own
I
companies
have
now.
to step off. I'm going to hand off to Mary Morgan, but thanks guys so much.
We have companies tell us that the return on sponsoring a show like ours is double or quadruple what they
No,
would get.
that's it. The people are hungry for freedom. But let's go back to almost 3 years ago. I was here, my family's here. The roads were shut down. People are burning cars, burning buildings. It was like 10% black people doing it. And the media said black people are burning Austin down because they're mad. That was
Mary
a lie.
Morgan, everybody.
Welcome, Mary.
And the left had hijacked, the globalist corporations had hijacked black people's identity to claim they were burning Austin down. And then some white dude goes around with an AK-47 pointing it at people in their cars and gets surprised when he gets killed. I'm not glad that guy died. But listen, you go up to my car and point a gun at me, you're going to get shot. So that's what this comes down to. And the fact that George Soros prosecutors are trying to put that guy in prison is wrong. And the fact that we recognize that is a big victory.
Mary Morgan, everybody.
Hey, Mary.
I'm really glad that I came on later in the show so that all of you have been drinking for a while and everything I say is going to sound really funny, right?
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
A funny woman? Now I've seen everything.
Oh my God.
Her code name is Goldilocks.
Yeah, I have a fond memory of Alex Jones calling me Goldilocks when I met him.
Was there just right coming from the bear?
Yeah.
You were there. That was the night we talked about the gorilla.
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm a gorilla.
Don't say it. You're gonna
Murder
get in trouble
yourself.
again.
Oh, we got trouble for that.
What?
Did we get in trouble for gorilla murder yourself?
Not the gorilla thing because that was that you're talking about a book or something. I don't know.
It was
The
the Bill
Ishmael, I
Gates
think
thing.
the book Ishmael is about a gorilla that
Yes.
wants to like I don't know.
And civilization.
And civilization. That's a simple way to put it. So obviously we're against all of that because we like civilization. But in that regard,
that's a T-shirt. We like civilization.
And to be honest, I've grown quite fond of living. So I would much prefer all of this to continue.
Yeah, because if civilization goes down, 90% of us going to die.
Yeah, but hold on. I have an inkling that 99% of the people in here, maybe that's a gross overestimate. I don't know. Let me look around. I think they might be okay if the dollar collapses, if the standard of living goes down, if jobs go up. The people who are paying attention and who are trying to be prepared are much, much more likely to survive.
How much was Ethereum at when I told people on your show to get it? And what's it at now? You're welcome. And Bitcoin.
So we're watching this mass exodus from New York City. 10,000 people have traded in their driver's licenses for Florida IDs and driver's license. People are leaving. And yes, I saw a sticker down by the bridge on the way here. It said, "Don't California my Texas."
Yes. Blaire.
Don't California my Texas.
Hey, Blaire, get the fuck out.
No. The good thing
Go
is,
back where you came from.
statistically, people do actually vote red when they come here, which is amazing.
Get out.
As they should.
I said what I said.
Shut up,
Look
bitch.
look at what.
Get out.
This is the fist fight you wanted. We said we were gonna fist fight
do
on
want
stage.
it.
I will fist fight you on stage.
I will kill you.
Texas was purple. Now it's turned red. Florida's
Exactly.
reliably red. So what was it? Was it 2018 or 20? When was the last time they were saying that it was pretty close with like Beto or something? Now more. Yes. Now it's substantially larger margins for the Republicans. Not that I think like Abbott is perfect or anything, but moving in this direction.
He won't stand for anything.
What?
Literally.
Wait, if Texas secedes, who's the president of Texas?
Me.
Who's the president of Texas? You?
It's gonna be me.
All right.
And there's gonna be guillotines everywhere.
Oh fuck.
I guess in the long run, I'm not super worried because the people, as I stated, who have paid attention have already started improving their lives in such a way that if the petrodollar were to fall or whatever, they'd be okay.
You know what I'm worried about? What you were worried about? Two things: the poorest people and kids. Those are the two that I'm worried about if things go bad, because they're the ones who are going to be the first ones screwed, and that's the real concern, in my opinion.
I feel like things are probably going to get worse.
Yes.
But then they're going to get a lot better.
Yeah.
It's just we're going to go through a dark period. And I think we're all strong people. I think the fact that people pay attention is enough to show they're strong
I
people.
just wrote a book about this very theme, The White Pill. I'm sure some of you have read it.
But elaborate on that. Your book was about...
My book was about the rise of the Soviet Union. This is the society of the future. And everyone was told in the 80s, it's never going anywhere. Be realistic. It's naive to think that they're going... You have Chekhov on Star Trek, because even 500... How many years in the future? I don't watch that shit. In the future, there's going to be the Soviet Union. And then overnight, it just vanished peacefully. Because people fought against that evil empire.
And it's not just that.
And technology was key. Because once you understand that you're being lied to systemically, you do not buy into that system.
But I'll say it in a way that's just like simplified. If you're trying to start a fire using a bucket of water, fire won't start.
Right.
If you're trying to run a country with communism, it just won't work.
The engine
That's
won't
it.
run, correct,
It just-
yes.
It doesn't work. It's like saying 2 + 2 = 5. Let the engineer build a bridge under the pretext of 2 + 2 equaling 5 and see how long they have a bridge.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like the question is, what did the
Leave me out of this.
What did the socialists use before they built fires? Light bulbs. It goes backward.
That's a good point.
Blaire, you said that you used to live in Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, what actually convinced you to leave? Like, what
The
was
fact that I
straw
couldn't leave my
broke the
house for
camel's
2
back?
years. The fact that we were locked, same as Michael. We moved there the same day, have a similar experience. It's the fact that I feel like there's a disconnect between people who live like maybe in the Midwest or like smaller cities who don't
Yes.
understand the level of like totalitarianism that happened during COVID. Like I tried to go to the beach and there was military people on the beach stopping people from going to the ocean. So it was just like realizing there was no such thing as freedom in California anymore. So I moved here and it was the best decision of my life. Would never take it back.
There's a Moby Dick joke there somewhere.
What happened?
Never mind.
So, Michael.
Wait, I think I heard you. Bitch.
What?
I love Michael Malice.
They're actually dating.
Michael, why did you leave New York?
Because everything I loved about that city was taken from me.
Dead and gone.
Every cool little boutique restaurant, store, the best ice cream place in the world, Ice and Vice, could not survive COVID. One by one, my friends all left. I didn't realize till I came here how lonely it got. Until now, I have a community here again, and it's just so wonderful. The fact that I had to remember when I was in high school in New York, I started remembering what it was like when you felt unsafe on the subway, when there were packs of kids going through, and if you had a Walkman bulging in your pocket, they take it from you. You started getting unsafe. And Lauren Chen said something that really made it click. She goes, "Why am I funding my own oppression?"
Yeah.
And that was it. And I left New York, and now I'm taking Texas with me.
And what's weird is that we're now in this period of pretending like all that didn't happen, and there's no national conversation about how to stop people from shutting everything down again. That's what's fucking weird to me.
And now they're talking about H5N1.
What?
Not H5N1, the bird flu, avian flu. Now there's
is that coming back?
conversations about 60% mortality rate, how it's
Great.
jumped from birds to mammals. So the narrative already exists. I'm not saying it's guaranteed to happen.
How
but
are there
certainly-
any fat or old people left at this point?
But do you think that we would lock down again as a country if they said to? I don't know.
Yeah, I do.
Absolutely.
It would?
Absolutely.
But hold on. But hold on. I think you'd even find people in here agreeing with it if we're dealing with a 60 to 80% mortality rate where you actually see someone on the street with blood coming out of their eyes. Not that everybody would agree with it, but a lot of people would get real scared.
Alex, would everyone lock down again if they did another pandemic?
Here's the good news. The UN called it Disease X. All the UN, all the Rockefeller plans, they believe that they were going to win with this, have a permanent lockdown. It was terrible. They killed a lot of people. They're still killing folks, but they have lost the narrative. The world's turning against them, and it blew up in their face, so humanity's winning.
And can I say one thing? Another thing Alex is going to agree with. One of the big silver linings of COVID is how much school choice has become a thing.
Yeah.
And once you lose 20% of the population of the next generation, you can't get them back.
That's a white pill.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm looking at mass exodus from California and from New York. I'm looking at parents homeschooling their kids. I'm looking at states enacting school choice, and I'm fairly optimistic.
And gun rights are through the roof.
Gun rights.
If we make the right choices, we win.
And I love the whinging from people like David Hogg. I'm just like, he can say whatever he wants. 3D printed guns exist.
Yes,
100%.
period. The conversation is over.
It is.
I have
I love that
guns.
David Hogg has security.
The conversation is
Well,
over.
he doesn't want us to have guns.
I mean, what is it? More than half the country is now
David Hogg's a
constitutional
faggot.
carry. Florida just passed
Yes.
permitless concealed carry, so they're halfway there.
26
And
states.
Epstein didn't kill
now,
himself.
right?
No, he didn't.
It's 26 states that have
26.
26.
Yeah, I think, but Florida's not completely constitutional carry.
Concealed carry. Yep.
Concealed carry. So they're getting there, you know. West Virginia's got it. I think West Virginia's great.
But remember your big audience. Everybody should support the Tim Pool podcast and Infowars.com and all the rest of the great people here. And I want to say great job to the folks out here with this experimental stuff. You got to have big balls in a comedy club to do a podcast live with folks. And you got to have big huevos to actually come see this, but I think it turned out amazing.
Yeah.
I think it worked out. I think the show was mostly yelling, but I'm having a good time. So.
Yeah.
No, I think a lot got said, but I can't wait to hear what this crowd has to say.
Yeah, what does the crowd have to say?
Intersperse. Let's get our first question.
Well, let's Alex.
Who wants to talk?
Alex.
Get over here.
No. We're gonna have actually someone go around for everybody.
All right, well here.
Yeah.
I think we have.
I'll go into the crowd.
Okay.
So yeah, guys, Autism IRL was really fun. Really enjoyed it.
Let's see what this handsome devil has to say.
All right, so this question is for Luke and for Alex. You say Epstein didn't kill himself, right? All right. What if he really didn't? He only killed himself on paper.
What?
What? On paper?
On paper. Only on paper. Not in reality.
Like faked it?
Like faked it?
I think we're lied to so much.
He Tupac'd it.
Who? Go ahead, answer the question.
What's the answer? I'm confused by the question.
Do you think he's still alive? I think is what he's asking.
Absolutely, yeah. That's why I got the
You
shirt.
think he's still alive? Okay.
Hell yeah, absolutely. He's probably still on another island right now.
All right, this guy's got a comment. Get over here.
Oh my God.
It's really more of a comment than it is a question.
Oh, God help us.
I don't know if this is the first time this has ever been done, but I think we are breaking some serious fucking ground here. This could be the first podcast world tour ever. This could open up the world of podcasting to fucking giant crowds of people. This is an epic concept. I don't know who came up with it, but they're a fucking genius.
I think it was an accident.
Tim Pool, ladies and gentlemen. And his... All right, here, get it.
This is fucking chaotic.
Hey, how's it going?
I love this.
So I'm still banned from Twitter for posting a documentary trailer on Jacob Chansley,
On
the
what?
Q Shaman. My question's about January 6th for the panel. Was it a Fedsurrection or a failed boomer insurrection?
Both.
Neither.
But mostly feds. It was a
Mostly
guided
Fedsurrection.
tour. It was a what?
Exactly, they
Guided
provocateured
tour.
some people. You've had a lot. You've been members of Congress on about it, Tim.
We have had a lot, yeah. We've been at Congress twice now, I think.
Why are we giving Alex Jones control of the mic?
Because the people running the show aren't paying attention.
I'm not taking control.
Why the fuck not?
Because apparently they haven't been paying attention the whole
People
time.
control.
Thank you, Alex.
This is how it should be.
Fantastic.
You never hand over the mic.
All right, Michael. I have the mic for once. I know you hate your audience. You hate me. I love it.
I don't hate you. I don't know you.
Because
So let me just say, we were supposed to have people running the show, and they just apparently quit their jobs.
Holy shit.
The sound wasn't working. They're not paying attention. They're ignoring everything and
I was
just
looking in the
ignoring
chat,
us.
They were
So
saying, I love seeing Tim's lost control.
there you go, I guess.
All right, this question's
Welcome
kind of
to the
towards
show.
Alex, Tim, and probably Luke, and definitely a little bit of Michael, because I know he's reluctant to get in on this. How important do you think it is to uncover the truth around things like 9/11 and the Oklahoma City bombing and things like that to really red pill people?
Real good job, guys, over there.
From the bottom under about the
Sorry,
federal
Tim.
control.
How important is discovering the truth, Tim? I think somewhat.
Extremely important to discover
Moderately important.
everything, I guess.
Oh shit. For what? For who? For me? Oh, this is the
No,
mic.
no, I don't think I'm stage yet. I think we're trying to figure out how we're going to be taking questions.
Well, so I'll put it this
specifically.
way. We actually had like a plan for time and a plan for the show, and I guess it never happened. I guess the sound didn't work, and then like the scheduling didn't happen, and then the audience question stuff isn't even happening.
I told Blaire to make me look like a juggalo, and look what happened.
You look like
This
it.
is my work, by the way. Do you want me to ask someone or something?
No, I absolutely think.
I don't know, the people who are supposed to be working the
it's a
show
very
aren't doing
interesting
it, so I don't know what's
question.
going on.
Let the staff figure out how they're going to be taking questions, because we're going to be taking questions from a lot of people. You brought up a very important issue, Oklahoma and 9/11, key critical issues that have turned the American government against the American people, key junctures where we have been eroded with our national freedom, eroded with our personal liberty, and those issues are extremely important to investigate, to look into, to question, because they turned everything. They were the major cornerstone of the United States that changed it to where we are today. And we wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for those two events. And that's why they need to be questioned, they need to be investigated, and we still haven't had any justice, and the victims of those still haven't had any justice for those particular events, and they should. Now, who has the next question, and has the staff figured out how to take the next questions? If not, we're just going to have people
Luke,
chanting and screaming here in just a second.
They gave me the mic. I'll just
You
pick
got a
people.
mic in your hand.
I'll
Let
pick
Michael
people,
pick
okay?
someone.
That beautiful lady over there, get up and ask a question. Stand up. Shh. What's the question?
What the fuck?
Can you repeat that, Luke? What'd she say?
Do you think they should look at the third-party doctrine?
The third party doctrine?
What's that?
What is that?
I don't know what that is. That's crazy. We're all opposed to that completely. Absolutely. I am absolutely in favor of the Supreme Court revisiting it, but I have very little confidence that they would. Phil?
Anything necessary to repeal those types of laws is what.
But
is
here's the other
necessary, in
thing:
my
if those laws are repealed, they'll find workarounds. I don't think those laws are very effective. I'll give you an example. I met a guy through Ruben. He used former FBI or CIA, and it was illegal for like some of his coworkers to look at their ex-girlfriend's Gmail. So they call their buddy in France, and they go, hey, look up her Gmail. And if the buddy in France needs someone, they call him. And that's how they work around it. So they don't care.
Personally, myself, I don't have a lot of faith in laws. I have a lot of faith in people. So that's just my 2 cents. If you have a question, actually, line up right here.
Let me address
Come
that
up
real
right
quick.
here, and I have a microphone.
Let me address that real quick. Simply put, laws are meaningless in front of culture.
Yes.
We have a whole bunch of laws on the books. We have a whole bunch of Supreme Court precedent on the book, and none of it matters if people are unwilling to live by it, adhere to it, or enforce it.
All right, so we're going to be taking questions right here. Line up if you have any questions. Please keep it short, and please be respectful of everyone's time here because we are on a short basis. And everyone, if you could just please keep it down a little bit and respect your fellow participants in this Q&A. I got this.
All right, cheers, y'all. This question.
I got to be honest, like, I don't think this is working. I mean, aside from the fact that the staff was supposed to have a plan for this and they didn't, everyone's talking. Yeah. So I don't think it works. And
I can't hear anything.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, the sound wasn't working initially. We had to get multiple microphones. Everything just kind of fell apart.
I need more vodka.
Let's try this out right now.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's try this out right now. We have a quick question, and I'm going to just hand my microphone to the people lining up here.
All right, thanks, guys. This
At the same time, we did put on a hell of a show.
It's been fun. I'm having a good time.
This is a spectacular success. We're talking to the crowd. We're reaching millions online. We're bringing podcasts to crowds. This is victory!
All right, next question.
Answer to 1984 is 1776.
Next question, right here, right now.
Good luck.
Shh.
All right, quick question for Phil. Phil, what do you got to do to convince Tim over here to get, you probably know this guy, your buddy John Joseph of the Cro-Mags on the podcast? Ever since Rage Against the Machine turned into Rage on Behalf of the Machine, I feel like John Joseph has been carrying the torch for all punk rock musicians, hardcore musicians.
Well, I
don't know if you
I
know
can
him
say
or
that
not.
I don't know John, so I don't have any kind of pull to get him onto the podcast. So.
You know who? We had Winston Marshall on the show last night. I think people need to really understand how incredible it is that he spoke out, that he retracted his apology. Yes. After the show with Winston Marshall, I said, "So like all of your albums were #1?" He goes, "No." And I said, he was like, "Not the first one." I was like, "Yeah, it was #2." Mumford and Sons put out an album. It hits #2 Billboard Hot for albums. The next album they put out #1. This is the like. You don't have to like Mumford and Sons, but they were the top. They are the top. For this guy to be in one of the biggest bands in the world, watch their music videos playing in front of tens of thousands of people, and for him to say, I would rather quit this band than lie to myself, that dude is awesome.
Respect, yes.
All right, we got another question right here.
I just wanted to say thank you for everything that you guys do. Ron Paul was talking about the ripples that you guys send out into the world. Because of you guys and the inspiration I've gotten from you, I ran for city council and lost in the suburbs, left the city, got some chickens. I've homeschooled my kids since before COVID. We have 4 kids, and so we're doing it right. For me personally, I see school choice as a Trojan horse. I don't want the government money. I don't want them in my curriculum. I don't want anything from them, and I see it as a step forward to get their foot in the door, and I personally am opposed to school choice. I don't want the money. I don't want them in it.
I don't think school choice
Amen.
is bad. I think homeschooling is the preferable solution. So if somebody's advocating for school choice, it's better than what's currently going on, you know. No, you don't think so?
too drunk for this.
She's saying it'll make private schools less private and have to accept other people. Interesting. So she's saying it makes private schools less private. Simply put, right? Right on. All right, cool. We'll grab some more questions.
Anybody else? Next question.
Thank you. Question primarily for Michael and Luke as the defenders of personal liberty and the voice against government intervention, et cetera. With the advancements in AI and ChatGPT and China, with the lack of hesitation to weaponize that if they get the chance to, et cetera, how involved do y'all think the U.S. government should be with people like Elon Musk and others voicing their concerns about AI and how we might end up with an Avengers Age of Ultron situation if it doesn't chill out? What do y'all think about how the U.S. government should intervene or not intervene?
That's a very good question, but right now we have the U.S. government and the Chinese government working and developing artificial intelligence and weaponizing it to its fullest extent that they could use it against their citizenry. So I think that's the very big issue here, and that issue is because of too much government, because we gave them too much money, we gave them too much of our power, we gave them too much of our influence, and now we're facing a situation where there is going to be a big new technological advancement, and it is going to be used against us because of government, in my opinion.
I want to ask
Malice?
Michael, actually, do you think government should intervene to stop AI?
No, I think despite boomer fears about technology, how do I use a mouse? Do I press it like a gun? I think technology is one of the most effective weapons against those who centralize power. And an easy example of this is the internet, right? If I want to censor a book, 100 years ago, I just got to destroy 1,000 copies, it ceases to exist. Now I can make infinite copies at the speed of light, send it anywhere and password protect it. Censorship has technologically been defeated.
Really quick,
what about artificial intelligence?
For Michael, you may remember meeting me in the Native Hostel men's room a few months ago. Not going to expand, but
I do remember that, to be honest. My balls have never been cleaner.
Whoa. I'm not even going to ask. Next question.
So my question is for everybody. I'm turned away from the audience because I don't really want to show my face, but I have a unique perspective on green energy. I work triage for wind and solar, and a lot of the companies that I work for are Chinese, and they install product throughout the United States. And I wanted to know what y'all's opinion was on with green energy in China and not being able to supply the United States with the proper materials. I do ordering through China, and they will not allow us to order products in bulk, and they will not allow us to order products that have rare minerals in them on a regular basis anymore. And I was wondering what y'all's perspective was on that, considering that I work in the industry every day and I watch this happen. And ordering parts and having these things go down constantly and not having the ability to bring these things back up are really tarnishing the American energy reserves and things of that nature. So I was wondering what y'all's opinion was on that.
For me, it's a part of the plan. It's not meant to work. It's meant to stifle energy. It's meant to hurt people.
Period.
It's meant to make people poor. Anybody else?
I agree. Times 100 what you just said.
All right. Next question.
Hello, longtime listener from California here. Pretty red county of California. We've rejected Newsom at every opportunity. This is for a question for the panel in general. You guys are in favor of boycotting corporations that reject your values in general. How exactly can some of us help that boycott when we didn't buy their products in the first place?
Just ridicule them.
You can
Just make fun of them.
You can
go on public
you can
square and you support businesses that do share your values and stuff.
and honestly, the power of social media, like these companies are very keenly aware of how they're perceived on social media. So even if you're just retweeting some stupid meme knocking some company, they are listening to some extent.
Just make fun of them.
So
yes. Like me making fun of Blaire.
For example, how exactly can we boycott Bud Light if none of us or some of us don't drink Bud Light in the first place?
Because you make fun.
Catfish.
That's a good question. I don't drink that shit.
Marketing on LinkedIn. Catfish her.
What?
Okay. Next question.
Hi. One of the reasons I love this show is all the philosophical debate.
One question I have is whether you think that these positions of power in the government attract fully psychopathic people, or whether those people generally evolve over time upon moral grounds that they initially start with.
I think they're evil.
Yeah, the most amount of psychopaths are located in Washington, D.C. per capita, and I don't think that's a mistake. I think that's exactly because of the situation and position that they're in, and maybe some demonic forces and energy ley lines and power lines as well. But that's a separate topic.
Look at the dude in Tennessee, the Democrat who got kicked out, his video from 2018 where he tries to be Obama, and his video from today where he's trying to be Al Sharpton. That's a sociopath.
The federal government is the most powerful entity in human existence. Of course, it is a gigantic honeypot for the most psychopathic people that America could possibly produce.
The most powerful entity in human history is God. Now give me money.
Boomer.
See, this guy gets it.
What Michael said.
All right, guys, so before I put the comment, I just want to say thank you guys for coming here, putting on a show for us. Gotta say, hopefully this experience doesn't make you reconsider coming back in the future, whether it be near or further down, which I will say, come on, guys, we're Texans, we have manners. Come on, let's show a little bit when they're talking on stage.
So, I'll let you guys in on a secret, I guess. We have on the back burner an idea for setting up a mobile studio in Austin. We'd basically just get a small house here, set it up to be a studio, and then maybe come down a week every few months or something so we could do a whole week of shows in Austin. But we'll see if we get to it. We've just got 1,000,001 projects going on, so we got to figure it out.
It's called building outposts.
Right. And
What's your question?
Coffee shops.
Right, give me the keys to that house. I really need a house. It's just expensive, man. But anyways, my comment is more of a just comic relief moment. You had made a video earlier this week about the Super Mario Bros. Movie, about how it's actually woke and I would say spoiler alert, but the formula's been out since the 80s, so regardless, you would say that basically Princess Peach is OP, overpowered, perfect, flawless, and she has a bumbling sidekick. However, although she was perfect and flawless in almost every way in the movie, in the end, she still needed a flawed sidekick that was a man to get the job done. Defeat the big bad guy.
And there was that point where she says, "Are you even human? You're so small." I thought that was
a reference
bigoted.
to him being Italian.
Bro, we're in Austin. The dating life here
that was a
sucks if
reference
you're
to him
less
being
than
Italian.
6'4".
Shots fired. All right, next question.
Okay, I'm from the progressive hellscape that is Washington State. And I guess I'm just looking for some advice for when people you love and care about wanted to mask toddlers, and you can show them evidence in their face, and they're just unwilling to even read what you're saying because they label you a conspiracy theorist.
If someone doesn't get their ideas through evidence, they're not going to get their ideas knocked out through evidence. They are not being convinced. They're just repeating what Don Lemon tells them.
But it's not just that. I think there is often a mistake among people in our faction or whatever. We assume that people have the same moral structures and logical systems in their brains. But if only they knew. No, they might actually know and just think, I don't care, I'm going to win.
Read Jonathan Haidt, The Righteous Mind, and it'll solve this problem for you forever.
So is your solution to kind of just run away? Go somewhere where people understand?
No, just repeal women's suffrage. That'll go a long way to stopping this.
I'm going to get dragged.
It's the truth. I don't know what else to say.
It's a start. It's just the start. Calm down.
He's not wrong.
He's right. You repeal women's suffrage, then you repeal men's suffrage.
And no voting for anybody. Nobody votes.
Period.
Next question.
Hey, y'all, don't have a question. My name's Tim Harden. I'm here to shamelessly plug my organization, Texans for Fiscal Responsibility. We score lawmakers and hold them accountable, and we have a mission to eliminate property taxes in Texas, to restore private property rights. Taxation is theft. TexasTaxpayers.com, axe the tax.
All right, we got another question.
Oh, God, he's got a selfie stick.
Here we go.
Hey, I just
It's
wanted
about
to say
to go
thank
down.
you very
This wasn't
much,
enough of a side
All right,
show.
calm down, guys. Calm down.
I just wanted to say thank you very much for everything that you guys do. It's an amazing thing. I came here from Long Island, New York, And if you want good audio, please go to Freedom Jeffrey 1776 on YouTube. I appreciate it.
We definitely need some advice
He
there.
said if you want good audio.
Is that James Randi?
Malice, what's your dad doing here?
He's doing your mom.
Okay, I was going to ask Alex about. Hey, Miss Alex, what did you think about Dr. Steve Pichenik? Oh, shit. And also, Michael, how would you like a nice Hawaiian punch?
Yeah.
Do the joke, Michael. Do the joke.
Wait, what's he doing?
Michael had
Wait,
this
hold on.
prepared. He had this
Is
prepared.
Pepsi okay?
You've been waiting all night for that.
No, I mean, Steve Pachinik's a really interesting guy involved in psychological warfare operations, and us all part of the craziness. And what was your other question? I've not even drank Hawaiian Punch in like 20 years. But I remember it. It's like a flashback here.
There's a lot of sugar in it.
All right, thank you, Malice.
Sugars, seed oils.
I just know it's crazy being here tonight. And then I was in the green room just a minute ago getting another drink with a free boozer head, and Jack Posobic's back there.
Bring him down.
Hey, Jack. Tell Jack to
I said, why are you here? All right, Jack Posobic, come replace me right now. Jack Posobic is an amazing person. Go get him in the green room. Jack Posobic, come relieve me. I'm the main quarterback, but he's the backup quarterback.
All right, we got a lot of people wanting to ask a lot of questions. Let's bring Jack on.
Visit Infowars.com.
Well, let's get back to these questions.
Or MadMaxWorld.tv.
Next question, shush down.
All right, considering that there is a lot of foreign influence in our government, at what point would you consider us unredeemable as a culture and maintaining our values?
That's a really sophisticated question. And to answer that, I give you Tim Pool. Jack Posobic. All right. Here we go. Come over here.
See this guy right here? See this guy right here? This guy knows the power of the best night's sleep in the whole wide world. And if you guys need some, just remember, it's promo code POSO and never, ever promo code Tanya. It doesn't exist. That's the real
I
thing.
love the fact that Jack and Alex are best friends.
It's true.
My favorite spook and my favorite conspiracy theorist.
Exactly. No, it's true. It's true. The truth behind all the conspiracies is that it's actually just me and Alex running all of it at the time. So you're like, so Luke is like, who's behind it? Who could it be? No, it's actually just me and Alex.
Hey, everyone needs a handler, right?
Exactly.
Next question is weird.
We didn't answer the other question.
No, it is they. It's they because I get my paychecks from Mossad and the KGB and the CIA, and it all just kind of like balances out.
All right, so we got another question here. Go ahead.
Hey, Army veteran, 13 years, and I just want to say you guys are all true patriots. I love all of you guys. I love everything you have to say.
Thank you.
Even Malice?
All right, it's not a question, sorry. But first, I'm really sad Alex Stein is not on the stage. I really loved him in Worst Cooks of America. It's fantastic. Mary, you're everyone's dream gamer girlfriend. Keep it up. Michael, are you the villain from Samurai Jack or Dylan Mulvaney? I can't tell.
Oh, shit. That's a call out. Oh, my God.
Wait, I thought that was Wait, I thought this was Dylan Mulvaney all night. That's Malice?
Phil, you are America's favorite hype man. Thank you.
Is he gonna go down the whole panel and just blow all of us?
Apparently, yeah.
Except for me?
Thank God.
I don't talk to feds. Sorry. Blaire, on behalf of
next
all
question.
men and women everywhere, how you doing?
Hi, how are you? See you after the show, baby.
Yeah.
We only have like 3 minutes left.
Got you. Tim, we all know you're actually a super intelligent alien symbiote in the shape of a beanie.
That's actually true. Yeah.
It's true.
And Luke, one last one. Sorry, T-shirt for you. Stop being the, the sucker idolizing mediocre politicians. Thank you.
Wait, who was he
I didn't get
addressing?
that one, but all right, we got a couple
Who was
more
that to?
minutes. Go ahead. We got another question here.
All right, I'm glad Jack was able to make it for this one. This question is for anybody on the panel who wants to answer it. What are the chances you think we make it through the next 1 2/3 years before America is involved in a hot war? 1 to 100%.
95%.
But wait, but you mean like civil war? Because we're in a war.
We're in
a bunch
any
of hot
country
wars
or
already.
ourselves. Period. Hot war.
Nobody wants nuclear war.
No, we don't want it. But in
Some
your
people
opinion,
do.
from 1 to 100%.
100%. Don't we have like 100 people on the ground in
1 to
Ukraine
100,
right now?
just your opinion. What is the availability of us ending up in a hot war in the next 2/3 year?
100%.
With Biden being president.
Ending up actually in
100%.
a war?
I mean, aside from the fact that we're already in a whole bunch, we have special forces in Ukraine already.
So when you say hot war, my first thought is like nukes flying. So if you're just talking about like some combat, then it's probably 100%. If you're talking about nukes flying, I'm still way low, like 5%.
I don't know about that.
No.
I think the assumption is just it's going to be ICBMs all over the planet, but I think we're really close to tactical nukes or nuclear artillery.
Let's squeeze in one more
I
question.
defer to you, Jack. What do you think?
One more question right here.
What?
First, I want to say thanks for coming on here and putting on the show for everybody and everything you guys do. As you all know, it's hot as hell outside, so I hope Tim appreciates that I showed up wearing the beanie of solidarity.
Tim, he's wearing a beanie for you.
And so my question is this. As we all know, the government can't actually curb all of our rights. They can't do that. So they use Twitter to do it. They use Facebook to do it. What would you say is the feasibility of enforcing our constitutional protections on these corporations so that they can't do that, and perhaps even take a badly plagiarized page from the CCP and enforce global constitutional adherence to these companies if they want to operate in the United States?
That's zero. There's no mechanism for this, and there's no appetite for it in Washington. They're all bought and paid for. It makes there's no path there. That's not the way to do it. The only way to do it is through competition and people becoming aware of what the situations are.
Let's do this actually. So we're close to that time where we would normally wrap up for the live show. So
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
One of my fans brought a Gadsden flag to get signed. Can you bring that up so we can all sign it?
that's a good way as I need to wrap this up. But we can even we'll even keep answering more questions. But we got to just for the people at home on YouTube, we'll wrap up the live show and then we'll be here on stage hanging out.
So you guys stay here. We're going to answer your questions after the main show is over. And we're going to kind of wrap it up here, and then continue the show without the show.
All right. So as this Gadsden flag is going around and being signed, thank you all so much for hanging out. Thanks for coming out tonight. The live show will continue to whatever extent we want to get people are here hanging out. And for those of you at home who hung out and watched, thanks. We'll thank you for yelling. Thank you. We'll do better and better and better, and we'll have more and more and more. So I really do appreciate everybody. You can follow the show at Timcast IRL on Instagram. You can follow me at Timcast. Do you guys want to shout anything out as we wind this down?
Whitepillbook.com, and thank you all for making such a huge success. And there's a difference between hope and optimism, and if you want hope, that book is your answer. I'll sign it.
And hey guys, freedom's messy. It's not always perfect. Thank you guys so much for being a part of tonight. I love you guys. And we're going to continue the conversation after the show. Anybody else?
Thank you guys so much. I was a little too drunk for this, but you made it very fucking special. And I love everyone. Thank you guys so much for coming out.
Subscribe to Pop Culture Crisis on YouTube, and if you guys want to follow me anywhere, Twitter, Instagram, Mary Archived.
Just want to let you know, Infowars.com, Alex Jones is the website. Everyone needs to go there. And remember, the answer to 1984 is 1776!
1999 plus shipping and handling.
I'm signing the flag, ladies and gentlemen.
Motherfucker.
I think Michael or Phil or is that everybody?
I love you too. Much love.
I am Phil That Remains on Twitter. I'm Phil That Remains Official on Instagram. The band is All That Remains. If you like heavy metal, check us out.
All right, everybody.
All right, you
I think
guys, listen to
for
Tim.
those of you at home, that wraps up our live portion. But those hanging out here, we're going to keep going to whatever extent people here want to. So thanks for watching at home, and we'll see y'all next time.